I hope you didn't come here with the idea of thinking that we were going to be pointing the finger outside at everybody else today, because it's not going to happen. Okay. Hope you are here today in the spirit of self-evaluation. Because that's what we should be doing on a daily basis. This is what Torah does for us. It allows us to daily self-evaluate ourselves. Because once the example that we're looking to is a mantra, you never arrive. You never arrive. So I pray and hope that anybody who came in with that, with your gun is loaded today, talking about we're gonna bang on, Esau and bang on the Christians. We'll see y'all next week. Most high praise.
Hallelujah.
But before we get into what the Most High has for Israel today, there's a word for Jacob. We understand that Jacob, we talk a better day, we say that Jacob, there's Israel, and there's the remnant. Jacob represents all of us. Whether you call yourself Black, African American, Christian, Baptist, Republican, Democrat, it doesn't make a difference. The Most High, African, and the Gentile powers know that you're Jacob. So it doesn't make a difference what you call yourself.
Come on.
That's irrelevant. That doesn't matter. You're Jacob. Israel is, of course, is the one who has wrestled with the Most High, wrestled with their flesh, and received by the Ruach who they are. They're not Black, they're not African Americans, they're not Hispanic, they're not Latino, they're not Native Americans, they're not Africans. But they're from the tribe of Judah, they're from the 12 tribes of Israel. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
But what we all striving to become, the goal is to be the remnant. Because Israel, that's not a free pass. And I think most people are misunderstanding it. But I do have a prophetic word that I must release to Jacob. And even though this word is for Jacob, it's also connected to Israel. So let us first go to Exodus 32. We're going to get into some message today, but most of said that we have to warn, alert, and to inform. Get Exodus 32. I'm going to need y'all to go on a ride with me for a minute. Because for all of y'all that know me, the number one goal is not to speak my opinion. That's I'll say all the way. Just give me Bible. Just give me book. Okay? That's what I hope to do today. Now I can guarantee you, none of the books that we go through will be the book of Leviticus. If you ever tell me go to First Leviticus chapter 2, run as fast as you can. Because I'm deeming out now. I went on. Matter of fact, my brothers have been issued. They have orders that if we go into certain things, they have to take me outside of the city and stone me to death.
That's the book.
That's it. There ain't no grace when it comes to that. We settled that. I go too far off, no coming back. I just sold it.
Come on.
Exodus 32. Let's start there, verse 25. And when Moses saw that the people were naked. Now, this is, of course, for all my avid readers, we know in Exodus, the 20th chapter, the Most High came himself to Israel and brought the covenant. And for Exodus 20 to 24, the Most High fellowship with Israel and the elders of Moses went up into the mountain and began to fellowship more in depth with the Most High. Not only Moses was there, but other elders of Israel was able to come close unto the Most High. and to see him in light like they never saw him before. And afterwards, when it came, it was fine. It's funny because when it became the Sabbath, the Most High set it down. And Moses went up with him on the Shabbat and got further instructions, what we know to be called the Book of Jubilees. Now, throughout this whole time, Moses is going back and forth. The Christian church focuses on mostly about the 10 Commandments that were on the tablet, but we also know that during this time is when he received what we call the Silent Time, or the Book of Jubilees. And that thing didn't take, it took a whole lot longer than people actually thought it would take. You know how our people are. Mm-hmm. They put a time frame on the Most High. They say, I'm committed, Kwam Yasharala, but as they say in Kwam Yasharala, they're taking the clock. Yes. And if it's taking a little bit longer than they put down and said it was going to take, people start getting antsy. People start looking back. People start reconsidering, you know. And so now the people, after all the Most High has done, parting the Red Sea, defeating Pharaoh, bringing manna from the sky, water from the rock, all of the things that the Most High has done, in a matter of days now. This ain't over years. They had to go back and read it. Come on. They were there. They go to Aaron, make us gods so that we may follow. And y'all know the story. They made the 2 calves. Mm-hmm. And while Moses is up there with the Most High, making all these plans about what he's going to do, the Most High said, looking down and said, right, the people that went off. They down there wilding. Come on, and this is, let me put this out here too, because, and I need to say this, and I'm not saying this because Abadiah is my brother. I'm saying this just in general. I'm putting this out here. The leaders of Israel are some of the most unappreciated people walking on the face of the earth. It's amazing to me how Israel talk all about how Christian pastors are getting rich, getting cars, houses, while most of Israel is going doing 40, 50 hours a week. There ain't nobody smashing our cash apps, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Our cash apps ain't holler. Okay. Right. We ain't getting past the 80 programs, and we ain't getting anniversaries and none of that. Right? But yeah, we're taking phone calls in the late at night. We're paying for problems that have absolutely nothing to do with us. But we're the ones that quickly got disrespected, quickly are unappreciated. And the whole time while they be attacking Moses, Moses is up here pleading on their behalf because the Most High is ready to wipe everybody down. And I'm going to say this today to my so-called Christian brothers and sisters. You hate your brothers and sisters right now because of what the truth they're telling you. But you don't know that America is still alive because of the people that you hate. You got water coming into your house, and you got electricity coming into your house, and food in your cabinets and your refrigerator because of the people that you hate. Talk about it. Because when that number is reached, when that physical thing says, the message is taking on and stop. And one day you're going to appreciate the fact that Israel was standing on the street corners, was doing 3-hour lessons, and doing all of the things that you hate. Because that realization is going to come that this is the only reason I'm still alive. So I just wanted to put that out there. So Moses go down, and he sees that the people are naked. Now you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, this is deeper than a physical, I don't have no clothes on. This means that they have dropped and lost their spiritual covering. Come on, because once they went from the 2 calves, away from the Most High to the 2 calves, they are naked. They are open season for the enemy to destroy them now. How do I know that? Keep reading. Look what he said.
And when Moses saw that the people were naked,
right?
But Aaron had made them naked.
Because Aaron made them naked. Aaron didn't take off their clothes. But Aaron did the 2 calves. Aaron made them naked and did what?
Unto their shame among their enemies.
Y'all see that? They went from a people that couldn't be touched the open season for the devil. Watch this. Verse 26.
Then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, who is on the Most High side?
Who is on the Most High side? All over the world today, a lot of people saying that they're on the Most High side.
Talk about it.
But you can't tell them nothing, you can't tell them no different. But Moses asked the question, he said, what?
Who is on the Most High side?
Who is on the Most High side?
Let him come unto me. And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together unto him.
Now, hold your place there, and go to Deuteronomy 18. I need y'all to see something here. I'm going to transition you from this time of old to where we are today. And you're going to see how all of this is lining up with the responsibility that Israel has to Jacob today. But Jacob, you must understand is that if you don't heed the words of your brothers and sisters, it's not going to end well for you. Your intentions of your heart, what I meant by doing it, I did it for the kids, all of these different things that you're saying that's not going to matter.
Come on,
when you stand before the Most High.
Come on.
Watch this. Deuteronomy 18, and give me verse 18.
I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren.
You say what?
I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren,
Right?
like unto thee. And I will put my words into his mouth.
You gonna do what?
Put my words into his mouth.
Right?
And he shall speak unto them all that I shall command
Now
him.
you notice that word prophet there is capitalized. Moses is telling them that there's going to be a prophet that's going to be raised up among Israel that's going to be like unto me. He's going to do the same exact thing that I'm doing for you, but he's going to take you to the whole new level. Watch this, verse 19.
And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him.
Now, let me pause here. When Moses said, who's on the Most High side? Who were the people that came to him? The Levites. They represent who? The priests. The ones who carry out the service of the Most High. They came to Moses. But Moses said that they shall come when the new prophet shall come. And if you don't hear his words, the Most High said it will be required of thee. Watch this. Now, go to Luke the 12th chapter. Did everybody come to Moses?
No.
The majority of the people were standing there like, what's the problem? We just having a good time, Moses. Moses, you understand. You know how I be. Why y'all always judging? Y'all make this thing too serious. This is the way we decided to serve the Most High. Ain't that what we say? Right? Watch this. So there was separation amongst the camp. And the only ones who came with the Most High, with Moses was who? The Levites, the priests. Watch this. Go to Luke 12. And we all established that that prophet that talked about in Deuteronomy 18 is who? Hamashiach. Huh? Luke 12, verse 51.
Suppose ye that I have come to give peace on earth.
Now, what is one of the main things of Saturnella, aka Christmas? Jesus came to bring peace on earth. How can I destroy your whole holiday by half a verse? Not a whole verse, a half a verse. Read it again. He says, what?
Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth. Until you nay.
No, bro. Nah. That's what y'all just saying. Nah. I ain't come to bring no peace on earth, but what?
But rather division.
Division. Remember, Moses, who was on the Most High side? Automatically division, because before they came down, you realize the Levites were down there with them, right? Y'all see that? Right? Let's not forget. The Levites, they decided to come back to the Most High, but before they was turned up along with everybody else. Right? He said, I do what? Read it again. Stop that verse.
Look at the 12th chapter, verse 51. Suppose ye that I have come to give peace on earth. I tell you nay, but rather division.
Right.
For henceforth there shall be 5 in one house.
5 in one house.
Divided. 3 against 2, and 2 against 3.
Right.
The father shall be divided against the son.
Right.
The son against the father. The mother against the daughter. The daughter against the mother-in-law against the daughter-in-law. Right. And the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law.
Now, when you're doing the holidays of Christianity, is there division?
No.
The whoremongers is there. The drunkards is there. The sodomites is there. The liars is there. The thieves are there. And we know, we'll be honest, the pedophiles and the molesters are there. Everybody is there, standing around the table saying, oh, Jesus loves us. That's true. Yasha said, when I come, there's division. This is the true example, ladies and gentlemen, that we have, knowing that what we're doing is the right path, because it's the only thing that has brought division in the family.
Come on, Op.
Nobody had a problem with you when you was lying.
Talk about it.
Bro, Thanksgiving, me and my cousins, all of us will come down and we would be sitting there and everybody would get that look. And everybody go to the store. Go around the road, it took us an hour and a half to get back.
Talk about it. In unity.
And when we got back, you smelled us before we got in the house.
Come on, Op.
Nobody had a problem.
Nope.
Didn't say a word about it.
There was no issues. Now that I want to keep lost that commandments, I'm wicked, I'm the devil, I'm the enemy now.
Come on, Op.
Don't sugarcoat it.
You're cold.
Yes. Watch this. Watch this. Now, go to Revelation 1. I need y'all to follow me. Look at how this transitions. Because what the Most High does in the beginning, he doesn't change. The Levites came to Moses. They the priests. The new prophet came to bring in the new. And he said, if they don't listen to him, it's going to be required of you. Watch this. Revelation 1, verse 5.
And from Yahshua Hamashiach, who is the faithful witness, and the first begotten of the dead, and the prince of the kings of the earth, unto him that loved us and washed us from our sins.
He did what?
Washed us from our sins in his own blood. And has made us kings and priests.
He made us what?
Kings and priests.
He made us what?
Kings and priests.
Kings and priests. Are y'all seeing this? He made us kings and priests. Go ahead.
Unto the Most High.
Unto whom?
Unto the Most High.
Unto the Most High. I'm going to ask you again. Who came and stood with Moses? The priests, the Levites. And Yahweh came to make us priests. He didn't come to make you church members.
Come on, Op.
How do I know that? Go to Isaiah 61. Watch this. This is the problem that the Christian church has, because you coming in there and they reading 2 scriptures out and preaching for 45 minutes, hard, sweating and jumping on tables. There's no understanding.
Had a good time.
Man, he preached today. What did he say? I don't know. He didn't preach. Can't give my whole life to something I don't have no understanding.
Come on,
So Yahweh said that he came to make us priests. But look at what Isaiah 61 says. Isaiah 61. Verse 6. Watch this.
But you shall be named the priest of the Most High.
He said what?
But you shall be named the priest of the Most High.
This is what the world is going to call you now.
Come on.
You shall be what?
Shall be named the priest of the Most High.
Go ahead.
They shall call you the ministers of our Yah.
Right?
You shall eat the riches of the Gentiles.
And the priests and the ministers of y'all gonna do what?
You shall eat the riches of the Gentiles.
Y'all talk about reparations. The reason why you ain't getting reparations is because you out of position.
Come on, Op.
You're looking for something to come to you now because you got fringes on. Nah, that means it calls more of a servant. What do y'all to say? The greatest among you shall be what? The servant.
Come on, Op.
He that exalt himself shall be what? Abased. But he that humble himself shall be exalted. Ever since you found out you was Israel, you walk around with your chest out.
Come on, Op.
When you really supposed to be bending your knees on your face. And that's what the priests do. You're the ministers, you're carrying out, you're doing the work. Your whole idea, your whole mindset is saving the souls, building the nation, restoring Israel. Isaiah 49:6, to raise up the tribes of Jacob and to restore the preserve of Israel.
Come on, Op.
That's the mission.
Huh.
Not pointing out lies, teaching truth. That's a difference. Watch this. What else would he say, verse 7?
Shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in their glory shall ye boast yourselves. For your shame you shall have double.
For your shame, the priests, not everybody, not the people with the hair wraps, not the people that can quote Hebrew, but the priests and the ministers shall have what?
For your shame you shall have double.
Go ahead.
For your confusion they shall rejoice in their portion.
Y'all see that? So Israel, notice what your responsibility is to Jacob. We're about to see what's going to happen to Jacob that don't listen. But if you're not lined up with the priesthood, you're going to be in the same place. Because in Luke 12, what did y'all say? When I came back and I seen that servant not working, I cut him to sunder, and I put him over there with the hypocrites. Which one you want?
Come.
Watch this. Now go back to Exodus 32. This is the word for Jacob. And Israel, you understanding that you are aligned, you are connected. This ain't no dealing up, you and me, this is us. We got to get out of this camp, ministry, assembly, church mentality. We are a nation.
Come on.
No matter where you are in this world, if you have the blood of Jacob in, you should be seen as your brother and your sister. I don't care what they're doing. And your mindset to always be like Baba, bringing them closer and closer to the Most High, not destroying them. Watch this. Back to Isaiah 26, Exodus 32, and we read 25 to 26 again.
And when Moses saw that the people were naked, where Aaron had made them naked unto their shame among their enemies, then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, who is on the Most High side?
Who is on the Most High side?
Let him come unto me. And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together unto him.
Go ahead.
And he said unto them, thus saith the Most High God of Israel, put every man his sword by his side.
He did what?
Put every man his sword by his side.
Go on social media and start posting.
Put every man his sword by his side. And go in and out of the gate to gate throughout the camp.
Right.
And slay every man his brother.
No, say it's gonna be grace.
Slay every man his brother, and every man his companion, and every man his neighbor.
Y'all see that? Elder, are you telling me to go throughout the streets and start killing the wicked? Yes. How do we do that? Hebrews 4. People that's not here, if y'all could see the looks that I got when I said yes. Some of them said, I got my phone with me. Let's get it. That scared me more than anything. That scared me more than anything.
He got quiet, didn't he?
I'm telling you, man. I know, man. Is it time already? Nah, let me remind you. When in Mark, when Yahshua and the disciples came outside of the city and they wouldn't give them a place to stay, they said, yo, should we call down fire from heaven? What did Yahshua do? We looked at them like, hey, you know not the time, man. We're not killing right now, okay? Put your guns on Satan.
Calm.
Not to the king said. Okay? If you're in the camp and some of these times they will kill the wicked, you better run as fast as you can. Because you about to get ambushed by the FBI, because that guy's an agent. You better believe it. He's an agent. Open up his chest, you're gonna see an American flag up under there. I promise you. If you hear them those lessons like that, you're talking to an FBI, CIA agent. You better believe it. Hebrews 4, verse 12.
For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword.
Sharper than what?
Sharper than any two-edged sword. Piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit.
It was what?
Dividing asunder of soul and spirit.
Soul and spirit. That word either gonna kill or it's gonna bring life. You got to go throughout your camp. You got to go throughout your community with that word.
That's what Sister came through experiencing. Yesterday we're a family.
Right.
Didn't recognize her own family because this word is separating souls and spirit.
That's it.
Wow.
That's it. They say, listen, see, the problem is that the reason why it is confusing, especially for many of us that came out of Christian church, because we were always taught for this, if it's true, that's a crowd. So that means if you're talking what you should be saying, everybody gonna be there. And the reason why people are leaving, they say, is because proof ain't going forward. But the truth of the matter is the exact opposite. Lies is what brings everybody together. Because of what y'all can say, broad is the way, and many you shall find on that path to destruction. And then Ezra brought the same thing out. He said, if there's a great city and there's only one path that you can go through, one man at a time, you're not going to see a lot of people there. So we feel like, yo, it's just a few of us. Man, when we woke up, man, back in 2013, for years, it was just me and him.
All praises.
And my whole county ain't nobody in the truth but us. To this day. We've been breaking it out for years. But they'll say, yo, our boys ain't got it. They used to tell us we ain't got no ministry because we didn't have a building. They didn't know all the cities that we traveled in. They didn't know about the Bible and Black conferences and all the conferences I done preached all over the country. They don't know anything about that. Yes, in Waynesboro, North Carolina, there was no church, so you don't have a ministry. But you ain't doing no work. I asked when the last time somebody got saved in the church.
No, I didn't have a church, did he?
I ain't seen the building yet. I'm still looking in the church for John the Baptist Church.
He ain't had no church.
I'm still looking in the church for Yahshua Church. What was it at? What was Peter's church at? What was Paul's church at? The Gentile lies have consumed us to the point that we can't even look at reality and see what it really is. When real work is going forth, you think it means nothing. But you gathered together right now. Listen, let me say this right quick. How is it that they say that this day is for Jesus when they won't even go to church on this day?
Good boy.
Where are we at on the feast days?
In the building.
You would smack your brother if you say, yo, man, it's the Passover. I think we should just chill and spend time with our family. Like, man, what?
Back.
But I can guarantee you, for a lot of people, last Sunday was the last Sunday they're going to church for the year. Because this weekend is about family. No ain't no way, boy.
Boy, no way, boy.
It was crazy, man. But watch this. So we know that the sword that we're swinging now is not to destroy, but to bring life.
Come on.
And it will separate the soul from the spirit. Our job is to bring life, not take it.
Come on,
Huh?
Come on.
Back there, it's 32. As we round this part of this up. Because I need our people to understand, we're laughing right now, but I need them to understand the severity of what it is.
Come on.
I was telling some people yesterday, I said, man, I had a bit of joy this weekend because, you know, over the years, you know, we've been consumed because our entire family is Christian. So that's really not any separation. Like, we are forced to be around it every year. And the walking away of separation of ourselves will bring more beef, more animosity. So we kind of just like being around. And for this year, the Most High worked it out that we could come in fellowship because we had already said in our mind, we were going to be at the assembly all day long. But the fact that we came to come here out of the city and be with the brethren, it was nothing more of a blessing. Thank you, God. It was so much of a blessing. You understand? To be able to get away. But I feel like, I said it was kind of bittersweet because the simple fact of the matter is the idea of knowing that what the rest of the people is going through and where their mind is, it kind of made it difficult to fully appreciate and to, you know what I'm saying, initially before the sun went down yesterday, it was kind of hard to be able to fully enjoy what the Most I was doing. And by the time the sun went down, I was like, shh, fuck that. I can't let this rob me. I just gotta go in. I just locked in. I just turn my phone off and start worshiping. So I'm not gonna allow people that ain't thinking about me to ruin my experience with the Most High. My brother used to have to help me with that because I used to be tripping, like, yo, man, you got too much of a level of expectation. we used to come on feast days, right?
Tell them how we used to go with their thing.
Oh yeah. First. So initially, right, we would be like, okay, we go into 1 Corinthians 10. You know, it said, for non-believer bid you to come to a feast.
Yeah.
Right? Go with them. So we said, okay, we're going to go. But we used to tell them, like, listen, we only here just to come through. Initially, what we would do is we say, yo, we fast. Right? That started beef. Like, yo, how can I go eat? I told y'all we fast. Right? So then, it's all right. See what we're going to do. Y'all hold a dinner after sundown, we'll come through.
Right.
So you make steak and Thursday, I know the odds of the Most High is Friday. So it's all good. All right. We will go, then turn around, come time for dedication. Bet. Not come through. Passover come through. Not coming through. But we were like, yo, we constantly asking y'all to come, because what they used to tell us was, yo, y'all looking at it too serious. It's just about family. I said, okay, then. If it's just about family, instead of eating on Easter, let's eat that Saturday. Nah, I ain't doing that. Instead of eating at Christmas on the 25th, let's do it on the 26th. Nah, I ain't doing that. Instead of eating that Thursday, let's eat that Friday. Nah, I ain't doing that. But you said it was just about family.
Right.
Is it? So this one particular year, we did a dedication. Bro, we had a wonderful time. Wonderful time. Whole set apart was there. The whole family came down and it was amazing. Everybody dancing, singing. It was a beautiful time. So much food. And I walked in the crib. And I just looking around, it was just like it was a regular day. And I automatically got mad. But I wasn't as mad yet until somebody said, hey, yo, y'all got some coupons around here. We got to go get something to eat. I almost start flipping tables. What do you mean some coupons to go get something to eat when we just had a feast? You talking about some Arby's coupons? Tell us this, man. You talking about going to Arby's on a feast day? Yeah, Ox came in and was like, yo, man, your expectations is a little too high, man. You gotta let it ride, man. You can't keep letting it do that to you, man. So I was like, you're right, man. But it's still, it's easier, but it's still ain't easy. It's easier, but it's still ain't easy. So what we at? Exodus 32, what we at? So we got to get into this word. This is for Jacob. Huh? Yeah, read that again.
And he said unto them, thus saith the Most High Yah of Israel, put every man his sword by his side, and go in and out from gate to gate throughout the camp, and slay every man his brother, and every man his companion, and every man his neighbor.
We got to go out throughout Israel. We got to cry out and spare not. Tell Israel their sins, and let the Most High do the work. Verse 28.
And the children of Levi did according to the word of Moses.
Right.
And there fell of the people that day about 3,000 men.
So you got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people ain't making it. And I know death hurts, but death is the reality in captivity. Death is the reality when there's disobedience. Death is the reality when you're under the curse. Watch this. Verse 29.
For Moses has said, consecrate yourselves today to the Most High, even every man upon his son, upon his brother, that he may bestow upon you a blessing this day.
You see that? That sounds crazy, right? When you're bringing forth death amongst your brothers, and the Most High said that's a blessing to you. That's kind of hard. That's kind of hard for people to swallow.
It's a hard life.
But it's a reality for the prophets. Remember in 1 Samuel 16? When Samuel came through, they was like, yo, why you here, man? Because he didn't come there to preach grace. Okay. They knew the judgment could have been coming, and Samuel came through there with a sword, and everybody wasn't going to make it. Ain't no talking. Judgment's time. Watch this. Verse 30.
And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses said unto the people, ye have sinned a great sin. And now I will go up unto the Most High. Peradventure, I shall make an atonement for your sin.
Ladies and gentlemen, right here again, once again, the leaders, people that's unappreciated, undervalued, disrespected, standing before the Most High on the behalf of the people that don't care about it. Because the elders of Israel is not asking for worship. We're just asking for the fact that you recognize what's being done on your behalf. We know we're not going to get it from the world. We care less. Y'all shouldn't get it from the world. We don't expect it. But you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, when you're resting and sleeping in your night, your elders are standing before the Most High. Some of the insight, some of the revelation you get is because of prayers that the elders is doing for you. You should never disrespect your teachers. You should never, I don't care if you fall out. If you get to a point where you see your teachers you don't believe what they're doing anymore, they may go off. You should never dishonor your teachers. You should never get to a point where you sit on a live calling out men or even women that are some poured into you. That's played a part in you coming out of the darkness. This whole strife and sowing discord among the brothers is celebrated amongst Israel for some reason or another. 1 week you see an op together with a brother in a picture like this, and 2 weeks later, you're on a video coming out of the same brother. I mean, I've been talking about it all the time, like, what is going on, man? We're not getting it, man. I'm not getting on your debate panels. I'm not doing it, man.
have time for that.
I mean, like 2 weeks ago, we sitting on there like, yeah, that's my brother, you know what I'm saying? All praise. 3 weeks later, the same guy's coming at a guy, licking subliminal disses on Facebook. What happened to the men?
Smile in your face.
What happened, man? Because when we was in the hood, that's what got me really perplexed. Because when we was in the hood, if I came to you about art, you automatically like, yo, you talk to him.
Right.
You wouldn't even entertain it.
Right.
Now you sitting there, tell me more.
No code.
My whole thing is I always say to people, why do they feel so comfortable that they can come and talk to you? If you got all the information,
yeah,
it tells me a lot. They feel so comfortable that they can relate everything to you. It tells me everything I need to know.
Come on,
Watch this. Verse, now let's go for a second time. This is what I need people to see right here. Go down to verse 34.
Therefore, now go, lead the people unto the place of which I have spoken unto thee. Behold, my angels shall go before thee.
Now notice that the word angel there, the A is capitalized. Let's talk about Hamashiach. Remember, in Deuteronomy 32, that rock that went before him. Take that in 1 Corinthians 10, that rock was who? That rock was Hamashiach.
Mashiach.
So I'm going to send my angel before you. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, in the day when I will visit their sin upon them.
I'm not letting it ride. And this is what I want to say to Jacob. Your brothers and sisters are bringing the truth to you. And you're putting it off as if you all tomorrow is always going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
What you don't realize is that you're sowing more and more seeds of destruction every day you go without repenting.
Come on, Al.
This is what you need to understand. And so by the time you feel as if I'm ready to change, you could have already destroyed your descendants. Because the Bible says in Ecclesiastes 8, because a sentence is not issued immediately, it is, as a matter of fact, let's get that read on that real quick. Let's get that Ecclesiastes 8.
That's too much about Al.
Nah, Ecclesiastes. Slakia, Ecclesiastes. 8th chapter. Yeah, I know what you probably come out on Rock 5, right?
One of them.
Terry not to sin is to repent. Yeah, but I wanted to see this right here. So, Slakia, Ecclesiastes 8, verse 11. This is the problem right here. It's because the Most High ain't going to bring down fire and brimstone on these people that got the Nimrod tree up in the house today. He's not. But he also is making a note of the fact that your brother told you last year that you need to let that go. And you went right back a year later and you're still doing the same thing. So just because the fire and brimstone ain't coming, that doesn't mean you got away with it. Ecclesiastes 8, verse 13, verse 11.
Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
It's fully set onto them to do evil. Because the Most High ain't doing it like this. This is what Paul was talking about in Hebrews when it says that you're disrespecting the covenant in spite of grace. Because before, you got caught in adultery, nobody was even talking. 2 or 3 witnesses, it's on to death.
So
now you got an opportunity to repent, and you're like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get around to it.
Yeah. No sense of urgency.
You're storm, you don't even understand what you're doing to your line. You don't even understand what you're doing to your family. You don't understand what you're doing to yourself. Watch this. Finish that up in next 32 because we got to get into this message.
Verse 35, and the Most High plagued the people.
He did what?
And the Most High plagued the people.
Now he gave him grace.
The Most High plagued the people. Because they made the calf. Because they made the calf, which and remained.
Y'all see that? So everybody talking about, man, we sick. Omicron, Delta, Alpha, Omega, Buddha, Judah, Puma. You don't even understand. But we wanted to put that out there. Jacob, as well as for Israel. It's time to come home to the Most High.
Calm.
Now, let's get into it. Let's get into the meat, Jesus. Today's message is entitled, ladies and gentlemen, don't mistake the battle for the war.
Calm.
Don't mistake the battle for the war. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of Israel right now, I can guarantee you, I ain't been on social media today, but I can guarantee you, they had their means locked and loaded all day long. Now, I admit this year I had a little bit of fun.
Yeah, R. Kelly was. Yeah, I had to share that one. I was tired.
I had a little bit of fun, and I said I did those things because sometimes humor can be what makes people think. You understand? Like, we had always said the other day that we don't really deal with these holidays in the coming weeks of it because it's kind of like, they're not gonna listen. But we've been having a rush of people asking questions on the Q&As about these particular things, which showing me that the Most High is dealing with people. 2020 shook some people up. And I tell people all the time is that we are focusing as Israel on the people who are arguing and debating, the ones who questioning and being defiant. We're not thinking about that lady, that dude that ain't really saying nothing. They just watching.
Right.
They just listening. So sometimes we have to be mindful of the fact that are you caught up over here arguing with this brother? If you got out the spirit, now what you're saying has been destroyed. And you're like, man, you ain't no different than the rest of them.
Come on, Al.
So right now is some of Israel right now that felt like they arrived. They don't celebrate Christmas. Clap it up for yourself.
Come on, Al.
You're still lying though. Still got a lust problem though. But long ago, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving. Hallelujah. You think you made it. You're mistaking the battle for the war.
Come on, Al.
You won one battle. You understand the war is still going. It's not going to be over until you leave here until Yasha crack that sky.
Come on, Al.
You're at war. Let me remind you, Israel, that Moses done a great work. There was no one that done a bunch of great work as Moses. But because at the very end, disobedience kept him from going into the promised land. And if Moses can be shut out, who do you think you are?
Come on, man.
Okay. This is why Yasha said those who endure to the end. So today's lesson is entitled once again, don't mistake the battle for the war. Let's talk about that war. Let's go to Revelation 12. I need you to hold that and get Luke 14. Don't mistake the battle for the war. We're thankful, man. We thank the Most High. You know, I tell Benedict all the time is that that's part of my prayer every Shabbat. Is just thankful to the Most High that on this Friday night, I'm aware of the Shabbat. That's a blessing in itself. Because I know what I used to be doing on Friday nights. So. Revelation 12.
Con.
I need you to hold that and get Luke 14. I know that Saturday, when I'm getting ready for the Shabbat now, that sometime I was just getting home back in the day.
Come on,
And when I was trapped in the religion of Christianity, saluting the imposters. The last couple of weeks, on my memory that's been coming up on Facebook, seeing old posts of me fighting for Christmas. They got to put the Christ back in. We got to put the Christ back in it. I don't care what they got. Why are they skipping over Thanksgiving, go over Halloween straight to Christmas? That guy. I guess this is why I have more of a compassion for Christians. I was that guy. To be honest with you, a lot of Israelites, the reason why you're so hard and so rough is because you never really been committed to anything in your life anyway. You never served nobody, you never fed nobody, you never have no homeless, you never there for the widows, you never did no work. You got no work. You got no works now.
Con. On stage.
The guys that's talking the loudest on social media, they got no works. You telling people to leave the church and you got nowhere for them to go. What are you gonna do? You wait because you go to church on Sunday. Oh, you got a church? No. I just got my iPhone and just sit up here. Oh, they supposed to come learn with you? Yeah. Oh, the famous the if you don't want to be following no man, but you going live 3 times a day.
Talk about it.
Don't follow other men, just follow me. Boy, it's crazy, man. Got all the answers. Right. Revelation 12. And then let's look at verse 13.
And when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man child.
We know that's Yasharah, the nation of Israel. We know that man child is Yasha, Hamashiach, who the world under Jesus Christ. The devil came to persecute the woman. And they want to tell you in the religion of Christianity that the devil is persecuting after everybody. Nah, it's not. We got everybody else.
Right.
It's not mad at you. You're a team player. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at you, bro. You are upbuilding this kingdom every day.
Come on,
New bricks every day. Okay, not mad at you. Watch this. Verse 14. I really want to break this whole chapter down. I really need to do that. But I got lessons on that, and we can teach you who all that is. But today I just want to edify and encourage and empower Israel. So we're going to just kind of move along fast in this. What we at on verse 15?
And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman.
That's Christianity.
Come on,
That's Islam. That's New Wahhabism. That's the conscious movement.
Come on,
That's the black woman is God. That's you, your own God. Egyptology. Kemet. That's the American dream. Flood. That flood was after who?
And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman.
After who?
After the woman.
After the whole world.
After the woman.
Once again, I'm showing you. The Bible said they don't care about the world. They already got him.
Come on,
He didn't have him since the Tower of Babel. They've never left him. They're the most committed. They've been committed to him since the Tower of Babel. Okay. The only one that he's never had fully was Israel.
Come on.
Go into Matthew 4. We're going to break that down a little bit. Go into Matthew 4. When he went to Joshua, he said, listen, he showed him all the kingdoms of the earth. He couldn't show him if he didn't have them. That means all the kingdoms and the religions that come along with them, they're all team sake. Every one of them. You tell the people you roll with whatever you want. But you and I know what's going on. Pay back. I know you wicked guys will wait back. All you old pagans trying to advance all over now, taking like a man. Guys are looking like Larry Holmes, slabby and sick. It's over. Okay? Respect it and check it. So, watch this. Verse 17.
And the dragon was wroth with the woman.
What?
And the dragon was wroth with the woman.
Nah, he's mad with the world.
Wroth with the woman.
Nah, he's mad with Christians.
Wroth with the woman.
Nah, he's mad with the Jewish people.
Wroth with the woman.
Wroth with the woman.
And went to make war with the remnant of her seed.
He did what?
Went to make war with the remnant of her seed.
Don't mistake the battle for the war.
Come on, Al.
Notice who the war is with. It ain't with Israel. Remember, he sent the blood after Israel. But the war is with who?
With the remnant of her seed.
Y'all seeing this? That's why we're going to show you the different battles that Israel is constantly losing, thinking they've won the war. Because the war is with Israel. The war is with the priests, because the priests are the only ones that can be effective in releasing the others from his captivity.
Come on, Al.
That's why the war is with who?
With the remnant of her seed.
Go ahead.
Which keep the commandments.
That do what?
Which keep the
Which
commandments
keep the commandments.
of the Most High. And have testimony of Yahshua HaMashiach.
Are y'all seeing this?
Come on, Al.
Listen, I try, y'all believe this or not, yo, my hand to the Most High. So on Mondays and Tuesday afternoons, I go through Messenger and send out invitations to the Q&A that we do on Tuesday nights. All right? And so I send the people telling them if you got questions, ask. That's how a lot of times we have a lot of questions already submitted because of the invitations that I sent out. My hand to the Most High. I sent this lady an invitation. And she wrote back to me, she said, I'm not interested until you first answer a question. I said, okay. And she said, what is your position on Torah? I said, okay. That's a good question, because if I'm, why would she want to talk to me?
Right.
And I said, my position is the position of all Israel, and we must keep Torah through Hamashiach. She said, never mind it. So I go to her page, and I see on her page that she's posting about saying that we don't have to keep the law. I'm seeing how her and her people that say they Israel, how they're dressing. I said, oh, now it all makes sense. So if you pro Torah, I can't rock with you. I know you Israel, but you against the law.
Come on, Al. Madness.
The covenant.
It's madness.
Yo, come on. And I said that time when we was at 70 Harvest, Hashemayah said, every word that come out of Mosiah's mouth is command.
Come on, Al.
Every word.
Everything's Torah.
Right? She said, yo, if you pro Torah, I can't rock with you. See, the old L would have just went in. I'd have bishop the standard.
Yeah.
The new L is like, most high price bless.
Yeah.
What can I say to that?
Yeah.
You can Torah that he quoting Torah to you means nothing.
Spirit on her.
A lot of them. A lot of them.
Mind if I read precept that I saw yesterday? My spirit is so hard.
Bring it out.
It's in the book of Job, and it's all the way down to I've been reading this. The one reason or the other, I don't want to take up too much time. But I'm just going to read verse 32. It says, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Most High shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be delivered.
Let's get another reading here.
Yes.
Chapter and verse.
Joel chapter 2, verse 32.
Uh-huh.
And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of Yahweh shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as Yahweh has said, and in the remnant whom Yahweh shall call. So what you saying is witnessing to me, man, because this whole time we be like, man, why don't you get it? Why can't y'all see it? But the Most High blinded their eyes. King Yahweh said, I open what no man can shut, and shut what no man can open. That's your heart, man.
That's it.
If you understand these words that have been brought out these past couple of years, or past couple of months, or past couple of days, it's because King Yahweh, King Yahshua, is opening something that no man can shut. If you get puffed up, or if you get rebellious, he gave you that free will. He said, I come at the door and knock. If you open it, they'll come into you. He's going to bring the Holy Spirit to you. If you don't, so I just want to say.
You know I got to land back off there. You know I got to land back on there. Proverbs 16. Watch this. Verse 6. And we said that, Joshua said that, let's all now. You remember in when he said when the disciples came to him and said, yo, why you speak to them in parables? It's like, yo, because it's not given to them to know the mysteries of the kingdom. And this is one of the things that's difficult for us to grasp because we're so eager. We got this zeal. We want everybody to get it. The truth of the matter, everybody don't want it.
No, I had to learn that.
Everybody don't want it. And then everybody not even have the ability to do it.
Can't do it.
Can't get away.
Can't stop it.
That's it. Proverbs 16, verse 6.
By mercy and truth, iniquity is purged.
By mercy of the Most High and the truth of the Most High is iniquity purged, which means, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you're telling yourself, Israel, but you didn't get to this point on your own.
Come on.
It took the mercy of the Most High and the truth. Let's break that truth down. Psalms 119, verse 142.
Come on now.
Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is truth.
Come on.
John 8:32. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall what? Make you free.
Come on.
John 14:6. Amashak is the what? Way,
The truth,
and the life. John 16. By which I shall send what? The spirit of what? Truth. And let me go back. He says, there's some things that I need to say to you that you're not able to even receive yet. This is what people don't understand. When you're dealing with this thing from a surface perspective, you're only seeing the tip of the iceberg.
Come on.
Yahshua told the disciples, like, yo, I got a lot I want to tell you, but you don't even have the ability to hear me right now. Howbeit, when the spirit of truth comes, she shall do what? Teach you and lead you to all understanding, because she shall speak of me.
Come on.
So by the mercy of the Most High and the truth of the Most High is the way iniquity is purged. But then look at the rest of that.
And by the fear of the Most High.
And by the fear of the Pharaoh.
Fear of the Most High.
By the fear of me losing my job.
Fear of the Most High.
By the fear of me losing my family.
Fear of the Most High.
And by the fear of the Most High.
Men depart from evil.
Men depart from evil. Huh? That's a great precept.
That grace doctrine has taken away the fear of the Most High.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
When one of the ops said that grace, grace is going to get people killed.
Right. And listen, it is simply because the people that grace was never given to are the ones that are teaching grace. That's the problem. Romans 5:13 says, sin was in the world, but until the law came, punishment was not imputed, meaning that everybody was doing wrong, but you didn't even realize you were doing wrong until the law. What did Paul say in Romans 7? He said, I knew not that I coveted until you said, thou should not covet.
Come on.
But Psalms 147 and verse 19 says, my law, statutes, and commandments I gave unto Jacob,
Come on.
and my judgment unto Israel. No other nation have I known.
Come on.
But we allow him room to teach me about grace.
Madness. Madness.
Married at favor. Right? That's the problem. That's allowing me to tell well, everybody got Duke Power. Everybody know about Duke Power. But down there where we from, we got Duke Power and we got PD Electric, right? So if I got my light bill, my electricity bill with Duke Power, that's just like me going to PD Electric and saying, yo, man, tell me about grace, how I can figure this out so I don't get my lights cut on. Yeah, sir, let me show you the paperwork. And I fill it all out, and then 10 days later, my lights off. What happened?
You don't know about it.
You say, bro, I don't got nothing to do with that, bro. You needed grace. You went to the wrong guy. You going to the Romans, you going to the Baptists, you're going to the Presbyterian, the Methodist seeking grace. You better be going to Yahshua.
Come on.
White Jesus ain't got nothing to do with grace.
Come on.
That's the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Come on.
I'm telling you. Watch this. Now, let's get back. Let's go to Luke 14. I love when the brothers in the building, man. It's beautiful. Let's get it. Don't mistake the battle for the war. Get Luke 14. Luke 14, verse 26.
If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple.
That's hard for people to accept, man. That's hard, man. That mentality right there is complete opposite of, especially us, the so-called Black, so-called African Americans, because we are extremely family-oriented people. I mean, that's all we know, because that's all we had. We didn't have a lot, but we had each other. Now, I love the way, and I don't know how many of you grew up, but they were talking about the fact that people didn't even really know what poverty was. It's because everybody was the same. So you didn't even really know you was poor, because your man's was poor. Your next door neighbor was poor. So if you didn't have no sugar, you could go to your next door neighbor and get sugar, and then if she needed some ground beef to make that spaghetti for the kids, she could come to you for it. And it was all good. It wasn't until a couple of people started getting a little bit, then we started looking at each other different. You know what I'm saying? But this whole mentality, when you see that word, hate, it doesn't mean, ladies and gentlemen, that you can no longer care or have any sensitivity or any level of compassion for others outside of the Most High. That's not what he's saying. What he's saying is that when it comes to me, everything is a distant second and on down. And I know how difficult that is, because I know in the first, I'm talking about just accepting the call to preach. I used to get ridiculed because the simple fact of the matter is that I couldn't go to where I used to go and do what I used to do. And people would be upset like, yo, man, why you ain't going here? Why you ain't doing this? Why you ain't doing that? I'm like, yo, man, it's crazy that the level of standard you are held to by people who don't want to keep the same standard.
Yeah.
Right? So I remember when initially my people would clown me because I would stop clubbing, stop smoking, and start doing all these things. But then let a weekend come, and I was like, "Bumping, man, I'm gonna go ahead and go all out with my cousins." Then I had to hear about that for the next 5 years. I keep judging me because I won't do it. And then now you're killing my witness because I did it that one time when you begged me to do it. You couldn't win for losing. So I had to come to the point where, listen, they ain't got no heaven to put me in. They ain't got no hell to keep me out of. I'm out. And it became even more of a commitment when it came to this truth because I understood that I can't rely on no other person but Hamashiach to make sure that I accomplish everything that the Most High is set for my hand to do. So read that again for me. He said what?
If any man come to me and hate not his father, and mother, and wife, and children, and brethren, and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple.
You can't be politically correct. If you still got the same friends from the time you came into the truth,
Something wrong. Something wrong.
you better ask yourself, how? How is that so? Now, if they're coming with you, that's one thing. But if they still doing the same thing, going to the same places, involved in the same activities, y'all still cool. How much of the commitment did you have? Watch this. Verse 26. Like verse 27.
And whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple.
Well, so you tell me I gotta do works too? Newsflash. Social media posts is not works. Wanted to put that out. Sharing means and gifts. It's not the works. All right. Fake Christian pastors.
Come on.
It's not the works.
Come on.
Pointing your finger at others for doing things that you did 6 months ago. It's not the works.
Mm-hmm.
We had an audio that was coming to our assembly. And all he was talking about was family and what they were doing. And it didn't take me but a couple of strolls down the middle. I didn't even have to scroll long down here. I saw the same pictures, the same smiles, the same ugly sweaters and all of that. How long you talking like you've been in this truth for years? How long you been in? Well, yeah, I seen your video that you dropped like 3 months ago, and I've been going hard ever since. 3 minutes?
He's ready to teach.
And you calling the sinners out.
Badness.
Needless to say, he's no longer with us.
God.
He's no longer with us. But, you know, that guy is funny. It's hilarious. Right. Verse 28.
But which
No, let's read it. I can't go back to that. Read that verse 27 again.
And whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have to bear the cross.
Mm-hmm.
And you realize what the cross represents, right? Yeah. The army that must die, that must be sacrificed, not for you, but for the people. And you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that the real works of the Most High, the real works of Hamashiach, doesn't come with a benefit package for you.
Come on, Al.
It's not a full 1K plan. There's so much in it. Pastor said he gonna match it. Nah. So you can't sit around and count your works. You know, I was at the store the other day, and that brother didn't have it. You know, it was 50 cents off, and you remember Yasha? I gave him the 50 cents. Clap it up for yourself. Yeah. Giving up something fully, everything, for the people, for the building of the nation. And it's not going to be anything that comes directly back to you. Of course, you may be indirectly blessed. But if you're still working right now, you're doing things thinking that it's going to be about you, you're sadly mistaken. You're going to be steady in the fence all the time. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Go ahead, verse 28.
But which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and count the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it?
That's what most people. Now, understand, ladies and gentlemen, what this tower represents here. What was it talking about in Ezekiel 33? Think about it. What was in Ezekiel 33? Watchmen.
Oh, watchman on the wall?
The watchman always was in the tower, looking, ready to warn Israel from the Most High. Read that again. It says what?
For which of you, intending to build a tower?
How many of you, ladies and gentlemen, seriously, when you came into this truth, understanding that you were not black, that you're not African American, that you're from the tribe of Judah, from the nation of Israel, how many of you sat down and said, this is what it's going to take for me to be the best servant for the Most High? None of us did. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Because if we had any idea what it was going to cost, I'm out.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah, I'm being honest with you. I'm out. If all that we had to give up, all we done went through, if it was brought to the table, like, yo, like, think about it. Y'all should knew from coming down here what he had to do.
Calm.
If we had any inclination of what it was costing, I don't know. I think I'm off a little bit. We start calling grace. White Jesus would have went back in. White Jesus ain't gonna ask that for much of it. So I must be off. To be off.
It wasn't that bad in church.
It ain't so bad here. You know?
Just being real, just be honest.
Done.
Yeah, how would I even ask for the cup to be removed?
Calm.
Right.
Calm.
Hey, that's right.
Calm.
So, I mean,
Hey, that's real. So he said, if you're not sitting down and count the cost, who's going to have sufficient to fix it? Go ahead.
But it's haply after he has laid the foundation.
So you laid the foundation.
And is not able to finish. All that behold it begin to mock
And
him.
this is what's going on right now. I just saw a video the other day. Dude talking about he was a Hebrew Israelite for 9 years and he's not anymore.
I just watched it.
I was like,
Whoa,
The liar.
whoa, once
Nice.
you would never hear somebody say, I was black for 9 years, but I ain't black before. Because when you make that statement and say I was a Hebrew Israelite for 9 years, that means you never fully accepted the fact that this is not a religion. This is your identity. You never accepted it. Yeah, with that so-called, yeah. I used to be there for 9 years, and I'm not no more.
With a skull on his shirt.
Yeah, and with the tattoo on there too. Get out of here, bro. Sit down with the devil.
And they ain't had no Bibles up.
None, not a Bible. They got the truth.
Got
No
the gospel
Bible.
of Jesus Christ, but they
No book. I'm just saying that like this. Bro, you don't even understand. I used to be a Hebrew Israelite for 9 years, but I'm not no more. This is happening every day. I've told story after story. We got people come, when it gets real, we just don't see them no more. Watch this. Verse 30.
Saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish.
Was not able to finish.
Come on.
Don't mistake the battle for the war. Huh?
Come.
Let's go to 1 Peter 4. Don't mistake the battle for the war. Happy that we are all here today on Shabbat. Many of you that are watching with social media and the internet with the Most High today. Don't get your chest pumped up like you arrived.
Come on.
Because once you get comfortable, as the old folks used to sing in church, your right foot slips and your soul be lost. I used to be careful how I walked ever since I used to hear that song. So then when my right foot slipped. Soul lost into my right foot slip. Right. Peter 4. Let's look at verse 12. Watch this.
Beloved, thinking not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you.
That's what they tell us. Boy, if you ain't, the money ain't flowing, you ain't blessed.
Come on. Come on.
You can't be going through marital turmoil right now. You ain't blessed.
Come on. Money things.
Nobody blessed by Jesus will lose their job. Your life falling apart. You need to repent. No, your life is falling apart because you have repented.
Come on.
That's why everything is falling, because the devil is taking back the stuff again.
Come on.
You're no longer part of the team no more. They don't allow you when you get traded. They don't allow you to rock the jersey no more.
Come on.
You got to turn the jersey in. You got to turn in everything. Yeah.
And some of them, depending on what they gotta die.
You better believe it. You better believe it. Or somebody in your family.
That's their way.
Every time I hear that new show, new movie, new album, 6 weeks later, tragic death. Right.
Strange covenants.
I won't say his name. I know it's about a year or so ago, one guy saying that we Israel. And all of a sudden I see him apologizing to the apostles, like, please, Master, forgive me.
And then his child died.
New show, next thing you know, tragic death.
Not a game.
Moloch.
Not a game.
And when you go to our brothers and sisters and tell them that, they say, what are you talking crazy?
Yeah.
It's just a coincidence.
You guys may right now be drinking your eggnog and sipping on your brown and full. But I'm telling you right now, somebody has been dying a horrible death all throughout the earth realm.
Come on.
Every since midnight. Because you're no longer with it. Because you didn't make a decision to say, I'm going with the Most High. Read it again.
Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. But rejoice, inasmuch as ye are partakers of Hamashiach's suffering,
right?
That when his glory shall be revealed, you may be glad also with exceeding joy.
It's going to get real sweet in the end. I promise you that. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, neither has it entered into the hearts of man when it's laid for them that love.
Come on.
Listen, You're going to be so happy.
Come on.
You're going to be so happy that you did at the Moses and turned down the blessings for temporary sin. Took on the reproaches of Ramajah. I promise you that. I promise you that. You got to hold on and hold out. Watch this. For the sake of time, go down to verse 17.
For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, he ain't talking about no Baptist church buildings.
Mm.
The house of Yah is the children of Israel.
Come on.
You want to know why it's death in every major city? Because judgment is starting with the house of Yah. They're talking about it white supremacy. No, it's sin supremacy. That's what it is. Judgment start where?
Judgment must begin at the house of Yah.
Mm-hmm.
And if it first begin at us,
If it first begin at us,
what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High?
so ladies and gentlemen, if the remnant has to go through Jacob's trouble, what do you think is going to happen to Jacob?
Come on.
What do you think is going to happen to him? Say, I ain't keeping off statutes of men. It's going to end horribly wrong for him. And look at what he said, verse 18.
And if the righteous scarcely be saved.
What? Read that again.
And if the righteous scarcely be
Hold on,
saved.
man. What verse in the Bible you reading? Talk about the righteous scarcely saved. That don't sound like what white Jesus told me. White Jesus told me if I believe, I'm going to be good regardless. What?
And if the righteous scarcely be saved.
I'm going to be saved.
What shall the ungodly and the sinner repent?
You have no chance. We got a fucking chance. They don't have none. You understand when you get this realization how the emphasis goes from looking out to looking in? Come on.
Yes.
I'm sitting around talking about you ain't gonna make it, you ain't gonna make it. Now I'm saying, am I?
I'm in.
Real talk.
Am I? Am I good? What is it? Verse 19?
Wherefore let them that suffer according to the will of the Most High commit the keepings of their souls.
To commit to what?
The keeping of their souls
To the keeping of their souls.
to him in well doing as unto a faithful creator.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Don't mistake the battle for the war. Now, I have 4 things we're going to talk about here quickly. I want to give you a story first, the premise to get you to understand the significance of what we're talking about. How many of y'all are heard of the historic Battle of D-Day?
Normandy?
Yeah, the Battle of Normandy. It was a horrific battle, which in World War II, the Allied soldiers stormed Normandy Beach in efforts to rescue France, the rest of Europe, and to march in on Germany in hopes of bringing World War II to an end. Now, the amazing thing is that through efforts of trickery by the generals, they was able to elude the bulk of the Germans' forces by tricking them, thinking that they were going to come in one area when they actually came in another. But ladies and gentlemen, that battle was so horrific to the point where some of the men didn't even make it out of the water. As the boats was coming up on the land, they were getting gunned down before they could even get off the boat. Many people, as soon as the door opened, they laid the first 3 rows of men out. They hadn't even made it off out of the ship. It's because of all the bodies and all of the ships that were wrecking. That became a what they call a pileup or jam, and now people having to swim to the land and was getting killed in the water. Then if you made it to the water, to the land, sorry,
The beach.
they had landmines. All kind of barbed wire traps. Meanwhile, gunfire is still going on. You got to maneuver around dead bodies. Tripping up. You see your man's head blowing off, legs blowed off, and you got to keep going. And even if you made it to the edge of the forces, then you had the crowd of a sand dune, right? There was so much death that was happening real fast. Imagine going into a battle, heated up, ready to fight, and in the first 3 seconds, you're dead. Injured. Mangled. You think your whole plan, you're the only one that survives. This has been a life of Israel in captivity.
Come on, Al.
We've basically been living this day ever since 70 AD. And it turned up for us as we went into what they call the Atlantic, transatlantic slave trade. But you know what's so bad about it all? Is that if you survived all of that, you know what you had to do when you first got there? Then you had to build the infrastructure in order to bring the rest of the troops on, because now the real battle.
Come on, Al. That was just to get to the beach.
That was to get to the beach. And this is the problem with Israel. Because they don't even understand what the war is. Some of us are running around on the beach right now, telling this guy, you ain't running right. Yo, man, come this way. Yeah. You ain't holding the gun right. My death is going on the whole time. And then when you get to the top, you don't even understand now, there's an infrastructure that has to be built so the rest of the reinforcements can come through and finish the war. We had to fight for another 5 to 6 months to get the infrastructure built just to win the war.
Come on, Al.
How many people you thought would have said after D-Day, I'm on that home. I survived that. That's all I got. I'm saying I'm done.
Right.
And that's what Israel is doing now. Because you survived the paganism.
Right.
You survived the lies of the religion. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about the neighborhoods of the community you lived in, but a lot of our communities like D-Day.
Yes, sir.
We see death every day. I've seen people get headbutts. I've seen people get gunned down.
Yeah.
I used to have to take my brothers and run to the grill because bullets flying by our head. This is what's going on. This is the reality of the so-called Black community. You don't even understand that just surviving that, that's now when it begins. How many of the people would have been standing at the top of the sand dune like this? We made it, and then a bullet comes.
It's over.
So we're going to talk about 4 vital battles that must be won in order to win the war. 4 vital battles that must be won in order to win the war. Ladies and gentlemen, these battles have to be addressed accordingly, each one. You can't fight one battle like the other. Each battle requires different weapons, different approach, different mindset, different perspective. Don't, you die. 4 battles that must be won in order to win the war. Number 1, we're gonna break each one of them down, but I want to give it to you first, so you can, for those who are taking notes. Number 1, not allowing your actions to be shaped by the actions of others. Say that again. Not allowing your actions to be shaped by the actions of others. One of the most difficult battles for a lot of people. One of the battles that I struggle with a lot. You go down. Number 2, remaining focused in the valley. Number 2 is remaining focused in the valley. Number 3, fighting the temptation to take shortcuts. Fighting the temptation to take shortcuts. Lastly, standing for truth at the threat of death. Standing for truth at the threat of death. All right, everybody got that?
Calm.
Everybody good on line? We'll move forward.
Nah, calm.
Okay. All right, let's go. Let's deal with that first one. Not allowing your actions to be shaped by the actions of others. Let's start out with Matthew 13. I need you to hold that in Matthew 26. I'm gonna tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, in order for this to be edifying, you're gonna have to be honest. Okay. I don't need your you know, we used to call, I think what we used to call it church talk.
Yeah.
When everybody was faced in, yeah, we believe. No, you gotta be honest. Listen, you don't need to be honest with me. You need to be honest with yourself. Okay. So if something comes out and you see, oh, this is an area I struggle with, thank the Most High. Just thank the Most High that He's bringing this out for you. Okay, you gotta be honest. And like I said, this was, especially this Matthew 13 right here, was one of the difficult battles that I felt for a long time. Okay. Matthew 13, I need you to hold it and get Matthew 26. Okay. Not allowing the actions of others to shape, not allowing your action to be shaped by the actions of others. Matthew 13, let's start there at verse 52.
And he said unto them, therefore every scribe which is instructed unto the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is a householder, which bringeth forth out of
The 1352?
Yeah, Slaki, verse 54 is what I meant, Slaki. Matthew 13 and 54.
And when he was come into his own country.
Now notice what he was at. He's been out doing the work everywhere else. Now he's back with his own people. Notice how the heads haven't raised. They're shaking around down the head. Because it's hard. The most pain, the most stress, the most frustration is dealing with your own people.
Yeah.
Do you know that we have been called racist? And it's all about our own people? And I've actually lost count The amount of Gentiles that I've led to a martial.
Mm.
And we got the videos and the pictures to prove it. It's not something that we make it up. And I always say to the people who call us racist, many white people you let it grass.
Come on.
I have many. Many of them call on you this time of prayer because you hit me up.
Come on.
Many people, white people you fellowship with, because I fellowship with many.
Come on.
But I'm racist. I be laughing, man.
Yeah.
This is all of a sudden a racist because I'm pro Israel, I'm pro my people.
Man.
Where were you at when we were doing the crusades? When it was black pastors and white pastors, I was there. They called me, they didn't call you, but I'm racist.
Mm. Facts.
It's funny, man. I be laughing like, okay. When we went to churches that was predominantly white, do we not? We didn't agree with the Christ today. Where were you at?
Mm.
I ain't singing that. Oh, we're the racists.
Mm.
You don't even have white friends. I do. But I'm racist.
Come on.
When the last time a white guy checked for you?
Mm-hmm.
But you're so pro to people. You got a church right down the road from a white church. Y'all ain't fellowship ever. Ever.
Never mind.
But I'm the racist. Watch this. Read that again.
And when he was coming to his own country, he taught them in their synagogue, insomuch that they were astonished and said, "What says this man, this wisdom and these mighty works?"
Yo, man. I know you ain't learned from this pastor because I ain't never heard Pastor Bubba bring this up. I ain't heard Yasha look yet. You heard souls people healed and delivered. That young girl used to be, wow, she walked in and demon got cast out of her. Now you would think they was doing the great thing.
Yeah.
So they're acknowledging, what's that last part, D? What was the last, what he said?
What has this man this wisdom and these mighty works?
So they're acknowledging that he's doing mighty work.
Mighty work.
They're acknowledging that he's operating wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
But look at this, verse 55.
Is not this the carpenter's son?
Why ain't that me finding another boy? They did it work for the town. He's in the steward party.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think he is? That's what they said. And that Calvin and John boy. And they dead on the fire department. That's what they say about him.
Come on.
Right? Go ahead.
Is not his mother called Mary?
No, I go down there one more.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Go ahead.
And his brethren, James, Joseph, and Simon, and Judas, and his sisters, are they not all with us? Whence then has this man all these things?
I know that dude, man. He right from around here, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Where you getting it from? And you would think. There's knowledge, not him.
Yeah.
He's doing mighty works, operating wisdom from the same hood, same spot that it is. But look at what 57 says.
And they were offended in him.
They were white.
And they were offended in him.
No, they were glad they could see him every time he came through.
And they were
He
offended.
was offended.
They do.
Man.
Not racist, not racist. They were what?
And they were offended in him. But Yahshua said unto them, a prophet is not without honor,
A prophet is not without honor,
save in his own country
except in his own country
and in his own house.
and in his own house. We go somewhere else. They rolled a red carpet out for us.
Wow.
I've been called apostle, bishop, elder, teacher, master, prophet. I done been called every title under heaven when I go to other cities. But when I'm in my own hometown, and they just Lavender boy. And I ain't nobody but just Lavender boy. So I don't get it twisted. I ain't nobody. I just know somebody. That knows somebody that knows something about it.
Come on. That's my, I'm just
nobody.
They do y'all.
Trying to tell everybody.
They do y'all.
I'm somebody.
You save your soul.
You can save anybody. You understand?
Me and Gina always ask the question: if we was back home, will we be doing this work, and will we be effective? Because, like you said, that's the dude used to be all wilding out, getting drunk all the time. Now he got a church.
Yeah. I started to hear that the first 10 years. Yeah. I remember when. If you can say you remember when, why ain't you talking about what I'm doing today?
They don't care.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, and that's why I keep trying to tell y'all about people that you have in your life. If the people in your life is only talking about what you remember when, you remember back in the day, but they can't talk about what you're doing today, they're not your friend no more.
But
it has expired. Move on. Because they're trying to pull you back to where you were.
Right.
Instead of keeping you going for where you're going.
Being sneaky about it.
Right, right. Because your righteousness makes them uncomfortable.
Come on,
So in order for them to feel better about themselves, they got to bring you down to their level.
What you used to do.
Exactly. Misery loves company. That's the problem. Watch this. So they was offended at him. Now, why am I talking about this? Because we're saying, don't allow your actions to be shaped by the actions of others. How many of you, in the midst of this, would continue on trying to be a blessing to those same people? How many of you would have packed up your ball and went home? But look at what Yasha did.
We already. Let's go. We going.
You know what I'm saying? Watch this though. Look at what Yasha says. Verse 58.
And he did not many mighty works.
Now, hold on. Stop right now. So he was still trying to do the work for a people who didn't appreciate him, who was offended at him. So it wasn't that he was no longer willing to do it. Why was he able to no longer? Because back in verse 54, read that last part.
Which has this man this wisdom and these works?
So now he went from doing mighty works to what it says in verse 58.
And he did not many mighty works there because of their unbelief.
Are y'all seeing this? So this is one of the battles that you're going to have to win of not being honored amongst the people that know you. If this bothers you, you're in the wrong profession.
That's good stuff.
I'm telling you right now, it's not going to happen.
No.
The earlier you learn this lesson, the better off you're going to be. There's not going to be no parades for you. Elders, if you're listening right now, there's not going to be a celebration. They're not going to come together and lay the money at your feet. That's not going to happen.
Good boy.
He's going to send one or two people that's going to stand beside you with a rain, sleet, or snow, and you're going to be able to go and do the work. It's just going to be you and a few. And if you accept that now, it's going to be easier for you. There's going to be no crowds. They're not going to be clapping everywhere you go. You're not going to walk into arenas of hundreds of thousands of people. It's not going to happen. No, it's not. They're going to ask you to go preach in California, and they're going to say, you get here. That's what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
they ain't gonna send you $1,500 for room and board.
that's not gonna happen. If you're in it for the cash, you're in the wrong business. Go back to the Christian church.
I need 3,000 for room and
Listen,
board.
if you have a management team, a booking agent, hey,
Madness.
I'm telling you, Doc, you're in the wrong profession. Watch this. So let's go to chapter 26. This is all part of the same battle. So Yasha, after still not being appreciated, people being offended at him. And did you see any time in the scripts where his family defended him? Mm-hmm. Y'all know Jude and James, y'all know that was his brothers, right? The ones in the Bible.
Calm.
And they didn't come in until after he was crucified and rolled.
Calm.
That was his brothers.
He's the baby brother, and you ain't going to even help your baby brother.
Listen, bro, hey, that's on you, fam. You got it.
Whole city talk about your little brother.
You're not saying
You
nothing.
ain't saying nothing.
You ain't saying nothing.
Oh, no.
That dude, hey, man, we be talking. That dude was tripping.
That's hard. That's hard, man.
Spiritual walk.
He's doing his own thing right now. You know, his own journey. He's the black, hey, yo. And that's another thing, too, this whole, I'm the black sheep of the family. Y'all don't accept in those times, man. That's foolishness.
Calm.
I'm the black sheep of the family. That black sheep means you wicked. That's what it means. I'm the black sheep. That means you just doing your own thing. Yahshua wasn't doing his thing. He was doing kingdom work.
Calm.
And it was the kingdom work that made him be on his own. He didn't want to be. He came here for Israel. Israel rejected him.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't reject the beast. Watch this. Let's go to chapter 26. So you notice them. I need y'all, like I said, I need y'all to be real with yourself here. We'll give you another example. Chapter 26. Now, Yahshua came down to the night before he has to be crucified. It's what it's all been about. Now remember, there was a situation when they were talking about the soldiers, the Pharisees trying to take him out. And Yahshua told him, man, no man take my life.
Come on.
That's the gangster thing about it. See, we've been reading this soft. Why Jesus he can't give it like like it really was. You gotta understand. He's like looking like, man, take my life. I lay my life down. That's gangster, man.
Powerful, man. Powerful.
You think you do to take my life? And then when he told the disciples in John 12, he said, listen, no, not that I can call a legion of angels, bro. Listen, bro, everybody would be done if I wanted it that way.
Come on out.
The battle would be over in a second.
Yeah.
Right? So this is what it's all about. Humility and the love that he had for his people. And he come down to this day.
Come on.
Stand at the Passover. For his time. Probably got the Lord's plan, you know. Everybody good, vibing.
Yeah.
The disciples probably swagged in there because they sit at the table with Yahshua, you know. And then look at what Yahshua does, verse 21.
And as they did eat,
He
said, verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray.
Man, one of y'all gonna betray me. Now remember, Yahshua didn't have to figure this thing out.
Mm-hmm.
You know exactly. And we have put a lot of emphasis on Judah. The truth of the matter was, every one of them there betrayed him except John. Because when he looked down from that cross, the only one was there was John. We got a lesson we did a few months ago called Are You Judas or Are You Peter? Because everybody's talking about Judas, forgetting what Peter did.
3 times.
3 times. Like, yo, he started cussing. He went back on purpose. He started like, yo, I don't know him.
Yeah.
Judas never denied that he was the Savior.
Right.
But Peter did. We're not talking about Peter. You know why? Because all of us is Peter. When we know that truth and we still live the way we're doing, we're Peter, we're denying him. And that's why in Luke 22 he said, amen, when thou art converted, strengthen your brethren. Peter hadn't arrived yet. He thought he had, Peter walked on water. Peter was the one that got the revelation that he was the son of God.
Mm-hmm.
But he said, when you converted. So when you're thinking it's about the knowledge and breakdowns and all this, nah, what I said earlier, hard.
Wow.
So when that self-preservation stuff in, it's like, I don't know.
You got hot.
So imagine sitting at this table, and you see these guys, and you know what they're about to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what you got to go through. How many of y'all still want to die? Allowing the actions of others to shape your actions. You sit at a table. Look at verse 22.
And they were exceeding sorrowful.
You think they were sorrowful because of the fact that they were going to do it? Or were they sorrowful for the fact that I must not let it be known that I know?
Oh, I know.
I've been doing this behind the scenes. I've been moving in the dark. Everybody think I'm a righteous, upholding man. But I've been making side deals on the low. Y'all said, y'all about to betray me, man.
I know it.
Still gonna go down for him. These are the battles that Israel's not talking about. We're talking about Christmas trees and Easter bunnies. Other than that, way realer than that. And look at that, they're so sorrowful. What else?
And began every one of them to say unto him, Master, is it I?
Is it me? No, it's you. Maybe you don't know that I went there and got that for the pieces too. Maybe you don't know that I already booked the Uber when they get real.
I got my passport.
That's what I got the Uber. I'm out. Soon to get big, I'm gone. Hey, yo, man, y'all not gonna stay around with y'all, man, when it get real? Boy, ain't no way, boy. I'm done. Straight up, we out. Don't mistake the battle for the war. Watch this, I got another one. Let's go to John 18. And just right here, not allowing your actions to be shaped by the actions of others. Watch this.
It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yes,
Who is it? John 18.
John 18. Verse 39 and 40 there. Once again, gotta be honest. Now, he's been betrayed by his own, offended by his own. His disciples are that he walked with for 3.5 years. But you know, ladies and gentlemen, he didn't come die just for the righteous. You know, we're doing this work in these different assemblies that we're in, but we're not just doing it for the people that's there.
Calm. Sit. Calm.
When y'all put that teaching out this week, you won't talk to your members, your brothers, your family. You won't talk to the Torah.
Calm.
You did a 3-hour lesson to the world.
Calm.
So we're doing these things for the entirety of building the kingdom. So now here, Passover is about to begin. Passover has begun. And they took him to Pilate. And this Gentile said, man, I don't see no fault in him. Imagine that. Ladies and gentlemen, I try to remind people in Matthew 10, when he said, I send you out as sheep amongst wolves. He ain't talking about Gentiles.
Own people.
Your own people. Everybody keeps talking about the white man and the white man. How did you get up under the white man?
Your own people.
Tell him, forget that. Ain't no white man put you in translated slave. King Solomon did. So we keep talking about everybody else, but we're not looking at ourselves. So he's looking out in this crowd. And the Gentile is saying he's innocent. But he didn't come to die for the Romans. Contrary to popular belief. He didn't come to die for the Roman Catholic Church. That's the enemy of the Most High. Okay? He came to die for those people that were standing in that crowd. Read verse 39.
But ye have a custom that I should release unto you one at the Passover. Will ye therefore that I release unto you the King of the Jews? Then cried they all again, saying, Not this man.
Not this man. The one that's doing mighty works. The one that was healing. The one that was going from city to city, and the one that the little girl loved. The one that healed the woman that had an issue of blood for 12 years. The man that was at the pool for 38 years. All these works. Not this man. For who?
Barabbas. Now Barabbas was a robber.
I'm going to take the wicked man. I'm going to take the wicked prophet. That's what we're going to listen to. Still going to die? You're going to still want to go to the cross? And if your answer right now is not yes, you have a problem. These are the things that you got to ask yourself right now. All these situations that we're bringing out right now, will it shape your actions? Will you change them? Because all y'all got to do is look up, Abba, gone. How many of you did it? You still going to the cross? Don't fake it for me. Be real. Are you still going to the cross or you out of there?
For the angels, I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'll be on the first day smoking. I'll be like, what's the name? I swear to God, babe, I'll be on the first day smoking in the morning. I'm out of here, bro. We cannot allow our actions to be shaped by the actions of others. One more. Luke 23. Now, after all of that, what was the position that Yahshua took? Some of us might have still would have went to the cross, but we'd have been up there. All of these sons of
Back then you didn't want me.
You asked me to do it, but I tell you, I don't want to know. I don't want to do it. You don't deserve it. You're a bunch of wicked devils. Yeah, that Scarface speech. So say good night to the bad guy. Last time you see a bad guy like me, that's not what Yahshua did, was it? He could barely breathe. He had been beaten all night. He'd been whipped. He had been spit on. He was forced to carry large wooden tree up a hill. He was stabbed in the side. He knew that he had 3 days in hell awaiting. And it was all for people who was offended at him, who didn't appreciate him, who lied on him. You know the Pharisees, they stepped in false witnesses that night.
Mhm.
People lied on him. They called him Beelzebub. All that. After everything that happened, look at the response. Look at the position. Look at the mindset that he had. Verse 34.
Then said Yasha, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do.
Right there.
Father, forgive them.
Father, forgive them. How many of y'all have been praying for the people that did that? He allowed his actions to be shaped by those actions of others.
Even did the same thing.
And they were stoning him. He looked up. And I'm glad you brought it out because back in the back when I was a Christian pastor, I preached that. And the name of the sermon was "Will Christ Stand for You?" Because there is nowhere in record where it showed that Christ stood up for anybody but Stephen. Because he's sitting at the right hand of the Father. But as Stephen was being stoned to death for the Torah, for the truth, he said he looked up and he saw Yasha standing. Standing. He said, my man.
He's pretty much gave him salute.
That's a salute. That's a salute.
I got you. I got you.
So while they stoning him, he ain't even there. He's gone. He didn't allow the actions of others to shape his actions. So he said, you know what? I'm going to go all the way out. Yasha stood up and said, got you. That's the first battle, ladies and gentlemen. Now allowing the actions of others to shape your actions. Number 2, remaining focused in the valley. Now, for the sake of time, I'm going to paraphrase this one. You can find this in Luke 19. I'm not going to go there. Let's go to 1 Peter 5 for the sake of time. But I want to put this out here. In Luke 19, specifically verse 30 to 31, he talks about that coat. Standing, remaining focused in the valley. I want to talk about that coat for a second. Because Joshua said, go and find me the coat which no man had written, tied up and stay away from. Many of you right now, ladies and gentlemen, are that coat. You have a special calling in your life, but you haven't been utilized. And you've been sitting around waiting for the day to be used and you're being overlooked. You didn't look the part. The smartest. You didn't have the right education. So your resume hasn't stood out. So you're that coat. Ladies and gentlemen, you show me any scripture in the Bible where it talks about a coat, other than this coat that sat there all that time and no man had written. And just imagine if you're that coat, wondering why everybody else is getting sold. While the master would ride his other coats and would take them there and then eventually sell them. But there's one coat nobody came for, nobody bought, nobody wanted. Must be something wrong with that coat. She should have been married by now. That business should have been took off. Your ministry should have been grown by now. Now realizing that one day the master was going to come for you. He's going to make a specific declaration to be sent to you. Yes. And go and get that code, which no man has written. That's why, young lady, that's why the men haven't been talking to you. Because they didn't want you to be tainted by boys. And the king are waiting on you. That's why you never got those jobs, because there was a business inside of you. That's why the doors was always being closed, because there was a specific door. You know, if he allowed you to go into that door, you wouldn't go into this door. Remaining focused in the valley is one of the hardest battles.
This is deep. This is deep because as you bring this out, he's saying go release the coat that's tied.
Yeah.
So those in bondage, go release them.
That's right.
And then if anyone asks you why you keeping the law, why you putting on a diadem, why you not eating pork, tell them the Father has need.
So you didn't know the whole time you was being set apart for a reason.
Come on,
remaining focused in the valley. Because that coat could have said, you know what? Man, they ain't using me over here. I'm about to go here. I'm about to just go back to the wild. Not knowing that he would be the hope that Yahshua would ride into Jerusalem. Not knowing that it's going to be your business that's going to be feeding the community when Pharaoh said you can't buy or sell here no more. It's going to be you doing it.
Come on.
Not understanding that you didn't have no man, young lady, all this time because you was going to birth that prophet that was going to be bringing it out. And he couldn't allow you to be with this. He couldn't allow you to be with these guys. Barabbas was the one that was chosen. He didn't want you to be with Barabbas. Are y'all hearing me?
Come on.
Watch this. Now let's go to 1 Peter 5. Remaining focused in the valley. 1 Peter 5, verse 6.
Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of the Most High.
Humble yourself upon the mighty hand of the Most High,
that he may exalt you in due time.
You will be exalted. It just may not look the way you want it to look. It may not come packaged in the manner in which you want it to be. It may not be the path that you called it, you wanted it to go. It may be completely opposite, in the completely wrong source. Some of you right now, the source for what he called you to do is going to come from the Gentiles, and your hatred for the white man is going to block your blessing.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Read it again.
Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of the Most High,
right?
That he may exalt you in due time.
Go ahead.
Casting all your care upon him.
No, just casting some of them.
Casting all your care upon him.
No, just the things that's important.
Casting all your care upon him.
No, I got this other thing. I just need this one thing to work out.
Casting all your care upon him. For he cares for you.
Go ahead.
Be sober, be vigilant, right? Because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour.
He's as a Roman lion. Your Savior is the Lion of Judah.
Hallelujah.
And when he comes up to you and see the Lion of Judah behind you, get out of dodge. You don't want them problems. What you got? What they don't want? What else on? You don't want the problems. You don't want the problems. You see that line of Judah behind him? Ain't getting up out of there, bro.
Come on.
But see, you got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that is letting us know that something can be devoured and some can't. It's only be if you're sober, vigilant, and humble yourself under the mighty hand of God. Huh? Watch this. Verse 9.
Who resist steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world.
So you think right now when you're going through this, oh, woe is me. Nobody is going through it like I am. Some of them got it way worse than you. So you have to be mindful of that. You can't have these pity parties. But I'm telling you, y'all ain't coming to the pity party. But how's the time? He coming early, and he's gonna shut it down. He's gonna bring all the party favors you want to make sure that party is a success. I'm telling you, the after party is the worst. The after party is the after party, then the I know, man. What then?
But the Most High of all grace has called us into his eternal glory by Yahshua HaMashiach.
Now, I brought out this whole thing that grace is killing us right now. Now, understand it, ladies and gentlemen, when he said that statement, he wasn't talking about the true grace. We're talking about the watered down white Jesus version of grace.
Come on.
That's that same Kool-Aid that the people are drinking every day, furnished by the CDC. I'll leave that alone. Read it again.
But the Most High of all grace, who has called us into his eternal glory,
right,
by Yahshua HaMashiach, as that ye have suffered a while.
So you're going to have to suffer. After you have suffered a while,
make you perfect.
That's mature.
Establish. Strengthen. Settle you.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Do not mistake the battle or the war. Now, we're going to wrap this up. We're getting there. I love when Israel's in the building. They don't be looking at you like, man, God, man, it's just too much, bro. I get no amen with that, so that means something you might get close to. Say it, Alpha. You got a Bible too, Alpha.
It's still early.
I got the rule out too, man.
It's still early.
You already know, Alpha. You already know. Let's go to the third one. Fighting the temptation to take shortcuts. All of us have been here. Go to Matthew 4. Notice how I'm trying to use Mashiach as an example. Because he is the mark, he is the standard. And I'm putting this out here, yo, because one of the mistakes, and I know my elders, my Mauries will agree 100%. The mistake that many of you are making is you're making your elders the standard. And we know that some of these elders are making themselves the standard. You ain't gonna find those brothers that we rock with. We ain't the standard. Follow me and we follow Mashiach. Okay. Hallelujah. See, some of these elders, some of you are the mistake that you're making is you're making the elders your standard. You're making man. And what did Jeremiah 17 say? Curses man who made man his strength. See, there's guys who are saying they use that scripture to use as an excuse not to be submitted to an elder. That's false doctrine. What he's saying is that when you make man your strength, which means that everything you build upon is based off another man. But listen, if you don't follow man, you don't follow Hamashiach. You ain't reading the Bible. What are you gonna do? I don't follow man. Why you got a Bible? What are you talking about? You don't want to follow man, you want man to follow you. To the devil. That's the problem. right? So, where we at? Let's look at Matthew 4. And once again, the battle is fighting temptation to take the shortcut. Now, to fully understand what we're going to break down here in Matthew 4, we must start in Matthew 3. Because you got to see what happened prior to this. Because once again, this is one of the problems. A high day and going to a low point is devastating for me. Listen, we were talking about before about the glorious time we had at the Bible Black Conference in 2019. Many of my ox in here was the first time I met them. It was in 2019. A lot of my family that I got right now all started in 2019. But it's only a couple of people in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, who knew what happened when I came home. Nobody knows what I went through for the next 3 months after that. I got catapulted. I was a person that was known in the Christian church. Known South Carolina, Georgia, came into the truth, all doors closed. And my aunt sat there for years studying, preparing. 2017, and went back, social media, started bringing it out for 2 years. People reached out to me, brought me to this conference. You got Warren Dalton and Benaiah Israel. These are made men. And I'm on a roster with these guys. And I'm sitting up there just like, listen, I would have paid just to come to the conference. And that's to be a part of it. We had all these people live streaming, all these people who are all around the country, even from the islands. And now all these people are contacting me from all over the world. You got people coming to me after the conference. Yo, man, let me take a picture with you. What? So I'm gonna like, oh man, we about to do it. So what happened to me for the next 3 months after that? You would have thought, you have to go so high.
Wow.
The problem is that Christianity tell you that's not supposed to happen. You gotta be off if bad things happen. Put up the filter. Some people and some things had to give.
Come on.
And in those times, you're tempted to make the shortcut. So let me show you what Yahshua went through. So Yahshua's coming along. At this time, he has really done no miracle. Except, changing the water and the wine and the wind. Getting his team together. Comes along and he gets baptized. And as he goes into the water, look at verse 16.
And Yahshua, when he was baptized, went up straightway out of the water. And lo, the heavens were opened unto him. And he saw the Spirit of the Most High descending like a dove and lighting upon him.
And then what happened?
And lo, a voice from heaven saying, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased.
He got announced to the world that he was the Son of the Most High. Now look what happened in the next chapter, verse 1. Immediately after that.
Then was Yahshua led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil.
What happened?
Then was Yahshua led up of the Spirit.
The same Spirit that declared him the Son of Yah, sent him to the wilderness.
Come on. Loneliness. Come on.
He took me high and then took me low.
Come on.
The same Spirit.
Come on.
This can't be right. What Jay-Z say? This can't be life. It's gotta be more. This can't be us.
Come on. Can't be it.
It can't be. Read it again.
Then was Joshua led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil.
To be tempted of the devil. You wondering why you're going through it. He had to go through it.
Yeah.
That's it. Sirach 2:1. When you come to serve the Most High, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Come on.
Look at this. There's two.
And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterwards a hunger.
What? What happened?
And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterwards a hunger.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're all hungry on the 10th day. He was hungry on the 25th day. He was hungry until he got done. Which means that there's moments, ladies and gentlemen, when you're so caught up in the war and doing the work that you're not even dealing with the physical ramifications of what you're going through in life.
Come on.
I know all of y'all can attest when you came into the truth. And days was going, you wasn't even eating. You were just like, get back.
Yeah.
You're not talking to people. You look at your phone, you got 20 messages on it.
Come on.
You're gone. Y'all was so gone, 40 days to spend with the Father. He didn't even realize it. Then afterwards, he's hungry. And when he was the strongest, notice the devil didn't say nothing. It wasn't until he got hungry. And after he was dealing with the physical effects of what he was doing spiritually, that what happened?
Verse 3, and when the tempter came to him and said, if thou be...
He said what?
If thou be the Son of the Most High.
Stop. Go back to Matthew 3, verse 17.
And lo, a voice from heaven saying, this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased.
So why did the devil immediately start trying to get him to question that?
Come on. Come on. That's powerful. That's powerful.
The first thing out of his mouth was what?
If thou be the Son of the Most High, command these stones be made bread.
If you're the children of Israel, you'll go down to the bench and command them Jesus to leave you alone.
Come on. I didn't nobody know about y'all.
Yep.
We never heard of the Israelites.
Go down there to the church, call the pastor out, call the deacons out, everybody. You're the children of Israel. Right? He immediately went to that meeting. Now, you think Joshua had a problem with turning that stone into bread? Fighting the temptation to take the shortcut. Because he's the Son of God. Why should I have to be hungry? I'm the Son of God. I take the shortcut. This is due to me. I'm entitled to this. You know what we're saying? We're the children of Israel. Who you so think he is? He's in sword. He's going to be the end of the world. Jacob is to be the one that comes. You're not running left and now. You are in captivity. Face it. We got to get home, girl. We got to get up and do this. We got to get up and look this shut up. Listen, every time I get a friend request and I see anybody with a gun in their hand, deny it. Because I know you're FBI. But if we get trained up, we want to know we're going to do this too. Okay?
Good luck with that.
Yeah. I see you make it. I know you're not. But y'all just, you're looking at this, he's hungry. And he's questioning him at this weak point. And he's got to fight his temptation to take this shortcut and take care of the present and ruin what's coming tomorrow. How many of you are selling yourself short today for your blessings tomorrow? Do you realize, ladies and gentlemen, I know this is going to make some of you mad, and you would like to give this disclaimer when we in different places. The following statement is only made by Better Day Ministry and is not related or connected to Torah Group or any of the family members that enlisted in this assembly. If you have a problem with what is said here, do not take it as over to Abadiah, his wife, or any of the Torah Group family. Now, that we gave that disclaimer. No, many of you Israelites are operating in the spirit of Esau. I'm making it up. Let's go to Hebrews 12.
Bring it out.
You guys that hate the white man so much operating in the same spirit as Esau. Hebrews 12. Hebrews 12, verse 14.
Follow peace with all men.
No, just with Israelites.
Follow peace with all men.
Just with people with dark skin.
Follow peace with all men.
Just with people that look like you.
Follow peace with all men.
Only with the people who call on the name of God that you call them.
Follow peace with all men.
Go ahead.
In holiness.
No, in the way you feel.
In holiness. Without which no man shall see the Most High.
You're not seeing the Most High.
Come on, Al.
Okay, what the breakdowns look like. Okay? You're not going to make it. Watch this. Go ahead.
Looking diligently lest any man fail of the grace of the Most High.
That's that same grace we're talking about here. We're not talking about white Jesus grace. We're talking about the grace that the Most High was giving to Israel in order to come back to the truth. Go ahead.
Lest any root of bitterness.
Lest any root of bitterness
springing up.
Trouble you.
And thereby many be defiled.
And thereby many be defiled. Go ahead.
Lest there be any fornicator.
Lest there be what?
Any fornicator.
Any fornicator.
Or profane person. As Esau.
As whom?
As Esau.
As whom?
As Esau. Who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
Operating in the spirit of Esau. I'm going to sell my soul for a raise and miss out on the kingdom. That's the spirit of Esau. I'm going to give up on the queen that the Most High has made for me for one night of fornication with a chick that I don't even remember her name the next day. Esau.
Come on, Al. Come on, Al.
I'm going to go make a video against my brothers so I can steal his members so that my family can grow, so my name will be great. Esau.
Come on, Al. Whole head is sick.
Talking about the white man operating in the same spirit as the Romans that you call it out. Yes, ma'am.
And pray until the for in the peace thereof shall ye have peace. So according to our community, our hands in peace, if you desire, we shall inward.
That's the main point. Gotta look inward. And I remember when I read this in Joshua about Esau, why he was ever in that situation in the first place. You know, because he had got in the battle with Nimrod and he was running for his life. And when he got back to what Jacob was, he was like, yo, bro, these girls about to kill me.
Anyway,
I got to run, man. Just give me something to just nourish myself. I started having a little bit more compassion. But then when you have to step out of it and look at it from the Most High, say, hey, listen, if I said you're the firstborn and you're going to get this, you don't need to be moving by what you're dealing with today. You can't get caught up in that shortcut. You got to trust what I said is going to come to pass, regardless of how it's currently looking right now. So anytime you fall to the temptation of taking a shortcut, ladies and gentlemen, you're operating the spirit of Esau.
Come on. Facts.
Huh?
Come.
So let's go back and let's see what Yahshua did. Let's read that again.
Go back Matthew 3.
It's like, yeah, Matthew 4, verse 3.
And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of the Most High, command that these stones be made bread.
Right?
And he answered and said, it is written.
Notice, he didn't go back and forth in the debate. He didn't come with no opinion. He didn't come with this is the way I see it. And this new statement, I don't even know where this came from. This is my personal truth. I'm speaking my truth.
Come on, man. What's going on, man?
I'm speaking my truth.
Where you find these people at?
Man, man. You ain't got no truth. I'm just speaking my truth, but I don't want to hear it. That's another word for a lie.
The son didn't speak his truth.
No, never. If y'all saying never tell him about nothing about him, what makes you think you got a truth to speak?
Come on, man. Madness. Be careful these YouTube stars.
I'm telling you, man.
They write their own book.
Yeah, listen, go check my book out. How many books did y'all have sold?
Crazy.
What would have been the going on a ram for Yahshua?
This is crazy.
You think Steve Harvey bring them out? What is the going on a ram for Yahshua? What Peter George? You got the audacity to tell somebody, hey, I need this in order for me to go. You're the devil that the Bible says.
Come on, man.
Straight up.
Come.
But look at he said, it is written. Go ahead.
It is written, man shall not live by bread alone.
You can't live by bread alone. Yahshua said, listen, I'm hungry right now, but I know there's something more important that I need more than this bread right now. And I know right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not trying to be insensitive to your situations. I know it's hard. I know it's tough. You got children. You got people that depend on you. I'm not being insensitive to that. But you got to understand what's going to be meaningful down the road. And if you burn your bridge right now, I'm telling you, you might as well, I'm telling you, it ain't going to be worth it.
Come on.
It ain't going to be worth it. No man would take your check that you got $100 and go to Roof Chris and spend it all in one night when you can go buy some groceries and eat for a few days. You're a fool if you do that.
Come on.
That's the equivalent to people driving Bentleys in the hood. Standing in your mama's basis with a Bentley. Come on, man. Come on. So Yahshua said what?
It is written, man shall not live by bread alone.
Right?
But by every word that proceedeth.
Yeah, what?
By every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High.
See that? That's that first temptation of the shortcut. I'm hungry, man. I ain't eating 40 days. And I have all the power to make this bread be tasted as toast if I want. I ain't gonna just get the red light bread.
Texas toast.
This Yahshua, I'm going to Texas too.
Again.
Come on. You know what I'm saying? I got the egg, the butter, you know what I'm saying? I got all that. You know what I'm saying? This Yahshua right here.
Yeah.
He ain't dealing with nothing less.
Yeah, it's premium.
You know what I mean? Get all that. We ain't gonna get all this on. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah. So he said, listen, I gotta live on every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. And ladies and gentlemen, you must understand this. Yahshua is still talking. Most High is still talking.
I said.
He's still talking, brother. He's still talking. And the problem is that you don't know what he's saying because you don't know what he said. So this Bible is what he said, but you have to live off what he's saying. See, Yahshua, he knew Torah, but he was communing with the Father every day. So it's more, ladies and gentlemen, than these books. is talking to him every day.
Come on, come on,
Listen, you can go back and watch the videos. You can go back and watch and do some interviews of people that know me over the years. But that still don't mean you know me.
Come on.
You don't know me if you ain't there.
Come on,
What you say? You're in my family. You ain't sitting at my grandma's table, sure. Okay, if you say you're my cousin. If you ain't eating my grandma's table, you're my family.
Come on,
But in all seriousness, we have to understand when it comes to the Most High. I don't know why you wouldn't want to talk to him every day.
Come on.
That's why I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm probably the wrong person to come to and ask for information or lessons on prayer. So I don't really pray. So
Yeah.
I don't have no standard form of prayer. It's my Father.
Well, your voice got to get low.
Right.
Father.
I'm not doing that. You understand? Like,
Almighty God.
You know what I'm saying? The Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last, the way maker. I'm not,
Come on,
I was talking to him all day, man. It's Abba, it's Father. You understand? It's like, I wake up in the morning, I'm just like, yo, here, thank you. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't no organized prayer. It's not the same. That's just familiar, man. It's,
come on.
you know, laughing, getting clowned, you know, like corrected, like, boy, like, you know, like you said, like, what you doing, bro? That's how you get over straight like a son, like, yo, you know?
Everyday language.
And that's what Yahshua was like, bigger than that. And I'm not giving that up for this bread right now.
Come on.
I'm not going to take this shortcut. Watch this, though. Verse 5.
Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city and set him on a pinnacle of the temple. And said unto him, if thou be the Son of the Most High.
Now notice again. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't believe, if you don't settle in your heart today who you are and whose you are, it's going to be a constant turmoil life for you. Because the enemy is going to be trying to question who you are all the time when he knows fully good, he knows fully well who you are. That's the reason why he's making war with the remnant of the seed. They're not talking to these other guys.
Let me share this real quick.
Go break it out.
This morning, me and my wife got up to get our coffee, and I opened up the back door to get a temperature check. And right to my neighbor's yard, it was like 6 deer. I called my wife because I'm already thinking. That's Abba Yah letting you know I got you. You're not taking no glaze. I'm gonna bring my animals to you.
Yeah, because I know one guy would have been right there with you. It
was right there, right at the wood line. Yo, I got about 6 of them. I said, baby, all we need is one. Everybody, man.
Deer soup, deer burgers,
deer sausage.
I know. I got a process.
Okay, all right, all praises.
You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna eat.
We're gonna eat with a rapping and clapping, man. You know what I'm saying? This is what it is.
That's what it is.
You know what I mean? So he's gonna continue to question you. He's asking you stuff that you don't know, that you already know the answer to. But if you're allowing your current circumstances to determine your answer, that's a problem. You ever ask you ever question, yo, are you my mother? Are you my daddy? You didn't question that based on your circumstances. You would settle. This is who I am. You got to do that with the Father. You got to believe the Father's word more than you believe the image you see in the mirror. Because sometimes what you see is ugly when you're beautiful. When you find gold in the wild, gold looks horrible. It looks messed up. until it's purified and ran through the fire.
Come.
And many of you right now is gold. It just hasn't been took to the fire yet. So all you see is the dirt. You see the impurities. But Yahshua's looking at you and saying, I see the gold. I just got to burn that off. I got to get that out of there, to remove that out of there, and then you're going to shine. And you're going to be walking around like a little kid. It's the light of my I'm going to Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So look at it again. Verse 6 said what?
And he said unto him, if thou be the Son of the Most High.
Asking the same question. You already know the answer to.
Mm-hmm.
If thou be the Son of Yah, go ahead.
Cast thyself down, for it is written.
Now, this is a double-fold temptation here. Remember, back in Matthew 13, right? Matthew 13, when he went home, getting rejected.
Mm-hmm.
In John 18, when he was standing out there. Now, these things haven't happened yet. That's the problem. Because the devil, a lot of times, ladies and gentlemen, knows your future better than you do. So he's coming to cause problems and cause distractions. Because if he can make you fall today, he already knows that you're going to be destroyed when you get down to the next battle. So these things haven't happened. Y'all can't even experience these yet. Of all the rejection that he's going to take.
Mm-hmm.
This is an opportunity for a shortcut. Because y'all should know good and well when he was in heaven, Moses said, you want to go through this, they're going to do this, they're going to go do this, they're going to do that. But Satan is offering him a shortcut. Hey, walk down the temple. Everybody's at the temple. Jump down. And I'll make sure you don't die. If you do that, nobody going to believe you then. That's the first part of this temptation for the shortcut. But this is the second part. Satan does what?
Cast thyself down, for it is written.
Now Satan is coming back with the Bible. Now because he got a grip for it. You know, God gave us promise. I've been studying this Bible for years. I ain't seen that verse yet.
Looking for it.
How many people have been convinced to sin and persuaded to break the rules with the Bible? How many times these Gentile pastors that went through Colossians 2 and made these people convinced that they can celebrate Christmas week and Thanksgiving? That's not your one for a Sabbath, for a holy day or new moon. When was Christmas ever a holy day in Israel?
Give me our books back.
Get out of our throat. Get out of here, man.
Say, it's crazy. It's madness.
Use the Bible to convince the people to break the law.
Yeah. Never a holy day.
And this is what Satan is doing to Yahshua right here. He's coming with the script and trying to get him to go out of the will of the Most High by saying what?
For it is written.
For it is written.
He shall give his angels charge concerning thee.
Right.
And in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest any time thou dash thy foot against a stone.
That's Psalm 91 verse 1. Psalm 91 verse 11. But us as Israel know something that most people don't know. Precept must be upon precept. So he just can't come to earth. We call them the one verse willies. You can't just come to me with one verse. But they are going to reconstruct my whole belief system based off of your interpretation. Because I'm going to do, just like other night, I ain't going to tell you why I was saying that, but I saw a guy, saying Israelite, said that we're not supposed to be teaching the commandments. What? We're only supposed to teach kingdom.
Lord, that was,
He made one statement, and in my mind, 20 verses came into my mind. And I know that wasn't all of them. I'm just saying it was 20 that I was ready to go with immediately. Not immediately, immediately. We were both people with the members.
charlatans, man.
That's all a guy that don't want to do right. That's all they need to hear. But praise be to the Most High that Yahshua ain't like that, because he said what? Verse 7?
Yahshua said unto him, it is written again.
Go ahead.
It is written again. Thou shalt not tempt the Most High.
He came right back with that precept. Nah, bro, you off.
Wow.
But what happens if you don't know the Bible?
You
can't come with that NIV version. Okay? I can't come with the pastor's quotes. You can't come with this right here when they drop that. Say yeah!
Look at your neighbor.
Look at your neighbor.
Trust in God. Put my faith.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get this.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the truth because I trust y'all. I bet. Yeah, I bet. I bet.
That's why I wanted to double back to that common sense comment you made. Because that's what we kept hearing about that jab, about the glaze. He gave me common sense too. He gave me common sense.
I like that. I like that glaze.
That comes from you not knowing who you are, because when you know who you are, there's nothing common about our nation.
Nothing. Nothing. You just said a mouthful.
Kill your people.
You just said a mouthful. I just land back on that with the peculiar people. Because when the Most High came to Peter with the dream, when he was telling him that it was time to take the sword to the Gentiles,
Right.
he said, call nothing that I call common. So he was including them and the unclean, because he was using food to talk about common. He was like, they common, but I can use some, I'm gonna allow some of them to get it.
Right.
But he always called us a peculiar people, a special people above all. So I tell people, ladies and gentlemen, equality is a downgrade. You can have it like that. Remember that. If I need you to make me equal, that means you got to be better than me. You got to be, because there's only, you can't make me equal if you're not better. So, ladies and gentlemen, we went through the most wickedest time of the year. But we're about to start back over in February with the reprogramming. With the so-called Black History Month, which we call the reprogramming month.
Calm.
Remember, I used to enslave you. I'll let you free. I used to rape you.
Yeah.
I ain't rape you, but not as much no more.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to hang you, but it's not as much.
Yeah.
Well, I enslave you if you go to prison. You know?
Yeah.
If I need you on the later field. So you got to know this Bible, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know this Bible, you're going to find yourself in a position where you're going to be off.
Calm.
And they're going to use the Bible to do it. Watch this, verse 8.
Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceedingly high mountain.
He didn't stop. He's not going to stop. Questioning who we are, who he was, that didn't work. But I got to take a more approach to this. Let's see what he decides to do now.
taking him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. And said unto him, all these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me.
Now, remember, Joshua knew good and well what he had to do before he came here. He understands that the Most High said he was going to give him 1,000-year rule. He was going to restore the king, the throne of David. He will rule not only over Israel, but over the whole world. But in order for him to receive that, he had to spend a rough 3.5 years.
Come.
That will be climaxed at a night full of whipping, beating, betrayal, and 3 days in hell. And here's Satan saying you can get everything that the Most High promised you, but you don't got to do none of that.
Right now.
This bowing into me right here. Do y'all understand the significance of this? Because I've heard a lot of Christian pastors preach this as if Satan was lying. No, he wasn't. This is the truth. He had all of this to give. You know what's so good about our King? That in the midst of that temptation, he saw us today.
Come.
Yeah.
Come.
He saw us. We made a decision to walk away from the religions of the world, amongst the ridicule and attack from everyone that we love. If those my brothers and sisters are willing to do that, I'm willing to go the long way around.
Come on.
I don't need forgiveness. But those brothers and sisters that I see in Greensboro, North Carolina today, they need my blood.
Come.
They need me to get beat. They need me to be on the end of my life. If it is keep them from having to take this, I'll take the long way.
Come on. Come on.
If it's done, you're gonna have to fight that same temptation of the shortcut. And as I reminded you before, it's not gonna be anything that's gonna come directly to you. Because him going through that didn't benefit him at all. He was gonna be king regardless.
Come on.
So will we? That's what you gotta be mindful of every day. If you want to take that shortcut. Am my child going to be the best that they can be?
Come on.
People that's on the job that's looking at me, they're gonna eventually see the truth if I'm not here standing. The people in my community even consider the Most High if I go along with the crowd. ladies, you have a very, 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 very difficult job. Because you don't have to not only deal with the realities of the world, but you have to fight emotions as well.
Mhm.
Many of you are dealing with raising your children on your own. Some of you even in the truth with an unbelieving husband.
Mhm.
And the men of this world are offering shortcuts all the time. We say all the time, the most greatest talent to have is to be a beautiful woman. And you can just put on your resume, beautiful woman. That's all it takes. But what's going to open for you? But look at what Esther was talking to you for.
Yes.
Save the nation.
What did Judah you talking to you for?
Yes.
Save the nation.
And you got to understand that sometimes the things that have been benefiting you your whole entire life really given to you to benefit everyone else.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Because Esther, she went in for the king. The king said, you can ask me anything right now. I give you up to anything over half my kingdom.
With.
You already know it. What if she would have took that shortcut?
Save yourself.
But what do you got to say?
Verse 8, then saith Yahshua unto him, get thee hence, Satan.
Get thee hence, Satan. I ain't taking your shortcut. I don't want your benefit package. I don't want the American dream. I don't want any of it. I continue to live the nightmare. Because when I wake up, it's going to be a whole lot sweeter than when I went to sleep. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Watch this. Go ahead.
Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written,
Right?
thou shalt worship the Most High thy Yah, and him only shall thou serve.
That's it. That's all we're doing.
Come.
We ain't thinking about nothing or nobody else. Don't mistake the battle for the war. Now lastly, standing for the truth at the threat of death. Ladies and gentlemen, you touch them, they've been folding like lawn chairs.
They dropped it. They dropped it.
You ain't seen nothing yet. You better be grateful for this family that you have right here.
Come.
I'm telling you, Israel about to start folding like lawn chairs, boy. I'm hearing that some of these elders, so-called elders right now, saying, listen, if you got to take the truth for your job, hey, don't let nobody judge you. Wow.
I gotta take it to travel.
Blow that person.
You have snapped your passport.
I'm taking it to spread the gospel of Jesus
I
Christ.
bet you is. I bet you is.
Crazy.
Christian pastors are already saying the mark of the beast can't be coming in our time frame because if it was the mark of the beast, we'd be ratchet out of here by now.
Antichrist ain't on the scene yet.
Yeah. It's been there. I read in John, he's been there. Then. That was 60 AD. You waiting on him. He's been here.
They so deceived. They don't even know it.
The Antichrist, he's the head of your theological school. What you talking about, man?
Dr. Seminary don't know it. Dr. Seminary
That's
don't
the
know
guy.
it. That's your elder.
That's your elder, man. That's the guy you look to. You know what I'm saying? That's the head of the mixing group that you go and sit down with in the dark. Down in the back walls. You don't think nobody knows you more.
Got you wearing square caps.
Right. Talking about, man. He's the head of your fraternity. He's the one that take your fraternity through. Okay. All right. You talked about the Antichrist and waiting on. Been done. Standing for truth at the threat of death. Let's go to Sirach 4. You already know.
Reset.
Now when they hear us talk about we willing to die for this thing, a lot of people are weary to that. They don't like to hear us say those things. It makes people nervous and uncomfortable. Ain't nobody die for Christians. And listen, let me put this out here too. When you hear these Christian pastors over in these other what they call the Middle East and different areas, talking about they was over there to spread the good news and got killed. God, you don't believe it. They're CIA agents that was caught. That's one of the main undercover identities that the CIA give their guys as pastors. So they go into places as Catholic priests and other pastors and somebody spreading the good news, and the whole time they're over there doing the work of the CIA.
Wow.
So don't believe the hype when you hear on the news, oh, this Christian pastor was locked up in Iran for 20 years because he was a spy that got caught.
Notice whenever they have stories like that, they never go into details as far as what he was actually preaching.
Never. You don't see no works,
No videos.
no church, no speeches, nothing. This Christian pastor. Right. God, you believe it. There's a CIA agent that's been caught. Okay. Sirach 4. This is what Sirach told us to do as far as the truth is concerned. Telling us that if we do this, we don't have to worry about fighting our battles alone. Sirach 4:28.
Strive for the truth unto death.
So when?
Unto death.
Until you get your breakers.
Unto death.
Until you get an eldership in an assembly.
Unto death.
Until you get some money flowing.
Unto death.
Until death, go ahead.
And the Most High shall fight for
And
thee.
the Most High shall fight for thee. You got to strive for the truth, not your truth. Yes. To death. And the Most High will fight for you. Now let's go to Daniel 3. What's going to break all this down? Just kind of paraphrasing and move through it. Daniel 3. Top of the story. Most people that spend any time in church. And it's amazing to me that people are not seeing the parallels, what is actually going on today in Babylon. The story is very popular, but if you know it, you can see that it's what's going on right here in America, right now. Same spirit, same rules. I need y'all to see something that as I was reading this, last night, I didn't really notice, I hadn't noticed this before until last night. And I think it was very key. So, to make a long story short, Nebuchadnezzar set up an image for himself, declared himself to be God. And all of the people who followed him saw him as such. And so he made a rule. Read that verse 40. This is the rule right here.
Then an herald cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that what a time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute,
jingle bells, jingle all the way. This is straight sorcery. You don't understand? Yeah. This music that they play during this time of year, it completely engulfs their mind. Like they're gone. They don't snap out until mid-January. It's gone.
Yeah.
Is there what thing?
That at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, staccato, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, you fall down and worship the golden image.
You do what?
Fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up.
Right.
And whoso falleth not down and worship shall the same hour be cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace.
Everybody was okay with it. Everybody's on board. Let's go down to verse 8.
Wherefore at that time certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews.
Now, notice that of all the people, you're telling me that there wasn't no Persians, they weren't doing this? You're telling me there weren't no men from the east that weren't doing this?
Y'all worried about the Jews.
Why were they concerned with Israelites not doing this? Israel was the only one that had a Yah that could change the things. Ladies and gentlemen, why do you think the world works so hard to get our people on board? We are the trendsetters. We get paid less for everything that the world has been made billions of dollars off. Every kingdom in this earth since the Babylonian kingdom has been prosperous because of us. We don't know that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They're going to come and say the Jews are robbing. Watch this. Look at what they come with. Verse 9.
They spake and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever.
Gotta gas them up. Gotta gas them up. Go ahead.
Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, psaltery, and the dulcimer, and all kinds of music shall fall down and worship the golden image. And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth it, that he should be cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace.
Now, this is what the Most High showed me just last night. Look at verse 12.
There are certain Jews.
There are who?
Certain Jews.
So that means, ladies and gentlemen, that some of the Israelites is okay with it. Everybody wasn't standing.
He wasn't pointing out all of them.
There was only certain ones. And there were certain ones that was doing what?
There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon.
Wow. You can't have the leader of the corporation showing it to the me in ZZ.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all remember RG3?
Yeah. Robert Griffin.
Robert Gifford III. Everybody think that Robert Gifford III fell off because he was a scrub. Robert Gifford III wasn't given any roles no more, the opportunities, because he was a devout Christian. Now, you can say what you want to do about Christianity, whatever the case may be. But Robert Griffin III showed up at a press conference with a shirt that said, "I can do all things through Christ." And they made him flip the shirt inside out.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. I never heard that.
Why would they have a problem with that? If he went live from a club, they wouldn't have had a problem with that.
Come.
If he would showed up to the press conference with two chicks on his arm, nobody would have had a problem with that. But if he came in with a shirt that "I can do all things through Christ," they make him turn it inside out. Why? Because you can't have people in a leadership position, Israel specifically, who are repping Hamas out of the Most High, because they're going to influence everybody.
Wow.
You know how many NBA players there are?
Yeah.
Countless of them. But all you hear about is D-Wade. That guy's the father of the year.
Madness. It's madness.
Are y'all seeing this?
Madness.
Now, long story short, got mad. And they asked him to deliver. Are y'all doing this with their fusion? And they gave him the opportunity. Read verse 15. I need you to hear what he said to him.
Now, if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sack, and psaltery, and dulcimer, all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if you worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. And who is that, Yah, that shall deliver you out of my hands?
They said, listen, all you gotta do is the next time it happens, bow. And all is forgiven. But look at that last thing he said to them.
And who is that Yah that shall deliver you out of my hands?
Standing for the truth. And the threat of death. How many of y'all gonna bow? You don't gotta gas me, man. I'm not here to judge you one way or another. It's only between you and the Most High. And I'm not talking about this done on a public platform where everybody can see. Talking about you in a room. So listen, all you gotta do is go out, pull the company line. We good. I need you to go out, be pro-Jews. Tell them to get more flavors than Krispy Kreme. And I'll make it sweet for you. Because if you don't, the Most High gonna deliver you.
Yeah. There.
It's okay, just tell them. Glad you said it. Another thing I wanted to share. For the last 4 or 5 months, the black sports writers, sports show commentators, I've been wasting billions of dollars on our brothers who won't take the juice. Last week, I'd like to report
You got him.
that I have the virus.
You got the juice, yeah, he got the place.
He took the first season.
Mm-hmm.
Try not to use the B word.
He blazed up.
So not only that, but they told us all these football players and basketball players took the medical procedure, but can't. All of these games been postponed, and so many people.
Mm-hmm. Something added up.
97% basically.
Mm.
And they fulfill all of it.
They find fake
Fake
cards.
card.
And it's still.
No, how you too? I know.
So how is it that everybody thinks it when you told me the reason why it's bad is because the bad side won't take it?
Yeah. Something adding up.
Okay, what's up?
Man, how's everybody took the medical procedure, but everybody's sick now? Which one is it? You told me that it was only going to be the ones who didn't, but now it's y'all.
And what's that big fancy word old boy used? It has a 96% efficacy rate. What's that big efficacy rate? I'm like, what?
Straight madness, man.
Madness.
We trust the science. Oh, that's good.
We trust the
God.
science. Trust the
Science
science.
is your house.
The prophet Fauci.
Madness.
Working today, get that.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that's it. You gotta get boosted
Yeah,
up.
Gotta get
that's
the
why.
Boost bones.
You gotta put some money in it. Really?
Look. Okay.
Not yet.
Yeah, he could.
Now there's 62, now there's 63, now there's 6. We're going to have to change the.
They up the size of history. Double school.
You gotta get on a payment plan. You gotta get on a claims.
Pay one every 3 months.
Every 3 months, come back.
But God gave us common sense. But this is what I love what our brothers said. Must be the response of all of us. Verse 16.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter.
Bro, it doesn't matter. Listen, I'm not in any form of hesitation.
We don't care.
How I need to answer this to you. You're the king, and you got the power to destroy me right here. But I'm not second guessing how I'm going to respond to you right here, right now. Verse 17.
If it be so, our Yah whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace.
Listen, I doubt no way, shape, form, or fashion that the Most High can deliver me. But
and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king,
I need you to know right here, right now,
that we will not serve thy God.
I will not serve thy gods. That's it. Well,
Nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up.
I'm sorry.
How much of that Christmas party?
I'm not.
Not coming tonight. Not eating food.
Sorry, Granny. I can't attend the Christmas dinner because I keep the holy things written in the scripture.
Come on.
God the mystery.
Hallelujah. Got to. Thank you.
We're not going to serve the gods. I don't care. You listen. You can talk about a mandate all you want. I don't. This is the Torah is way higher than a mandate.
You know, man.
You understand? I mean, what can you do to me?
What can you do to me?
I went to 4 years of captivity. You talking about I'm gonna lose my job? Yeah, okay.
I'll take that.
I'll take that. But I sure ain't losing the kingdom for you, homeboy.
I'm not gonna lose twice.
No, brother, will not.
Come on, man.
My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge.
You know what I'm saying?
People don't understand that a mandate is not a law.
It's not a law. How many times? It's not a law. But they fear mongering. Man, I'm telling you right now. You're not gonna be able to do this. You're not gonna be able to do that. Boy, you couldn't do that before. You're black. What are you talking about? You're like this is something new.
That's the thing. We've already been used to
What do you mean? Like, oh my God, we can't do this. You still get it.
Forever.
I'm not gonna be able to travel.
If you had to talk about it, you still got a passport. Ain't been 2 hours away from this house. Short and long as a trip for you.
They might have drilled down to Atlanta.
What a family reunion.
Went to the crib, went to the family, went to the house, and we're right back.
We're back from the family reunion.
As far as they go.
I was living there. I was living there.
It's madness, man. Madness.
So now you're married. Fury. And cast them in to the furnace. I need y'all to see something here. Watch this. Go down to verse 23.
And these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, was astonished. He rose up in haste and spake and said unto his counselors, did not we cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire?
Now I know I asked for a fact. You said 3 men in there. For what?
They answered and said unto the king, true, O king. He answered and said, lo, I see 4 men loose.
You see how many?
4 men loose.
I see what?
4 men loose.
Hold on, stop. Hold on. We put how many in there?
Did we not cast 3 men bound?
3 men what?
3 men bound.
3 men what?
3 men
Bound.
into the midst of the fire.
But we see what?
Lo, I see 4 men loose.
So the only thing that burned up in the fire was the restraints.
Hallelujah.
Not him.
Come on.
Are y'all hearing this?
Hallelujah.
You gotta stand for truth with the threat of death. You gotta look at it like, listen, man, there's nothing you can do to me.
Come on.
I'm gonna live forever. It's my choice where I live with the king or I live with you.
Come on.
And I've been here for 40 years with you, Bill. I'm out of here.
Calm.
And if he take us,
And who will?
we'll be back.
Hey, you don't want to see me when I come back. We'll be dumb swag. There you go, right?
Back then you didn't want me.
They won't.
Now.
They all alone. So in here, brother, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So who was that in there? I saw who?
I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt.
And they have what?
And they have no hurt.
And they have no hurt.
And the form of the 4th is like the Son of the Most High.
Y'all see that?
Hallelujah.
Yahshua said, I'm going to be with you no matter where you are, No matter where you go, no matter what they do, I'm gonna be with you all the way to the ends of the earth. Hallelujah.
One thing that stuck out to me about this, and I read it recently, Nebuchadnezzar even knew the form of God.
Yeah. Now he's telling everybody else his job. But when he looked him up, because he know who sent them to Israel, to Judea. He know who sent them. He know who gave him that power. You know what I'm saying?
Hallelujah.
We got to stand for the truth, y'all.
Hallelujah. It's good stuff.
At the threat of death. So Rock 11, and we done. Go after all that. We got to hit him with some wisdom. Not no common sense.
That's personal truth.
You know what I'm talking about? Not that. I'm saying if common sense is anywhere in the rock. Rock 11. Ecclesiasticus. Start at verse 1.
Wisdom lifteth up the head of him that is of low degree.
Common sense.
Wisdom lifteth up the head of him that is of low degree.
Right?
And maketh him to sit among great men.
You guys see that? Wisdom does that. You can take a man of low degree and bring him amongst what great men are. You can't get caught up on what you're dealing with right now. Watch this. Verse 2.
Commend not a man for his beauty, neither abhor a man for his outward appearance.
Here we go. Hey, Tim, my brother right now, he can confirm this. He went with some of the brothers downtown Charlotte to do some work for the homeless down there. They down there going to do some blessings to the ox, bring some stuff to the people down there. See people that homeless down there bringing the truth out. They're homeless at the camps, at one of the homeless camps, bringing the truth out.
Wow.
But they don't see this guy. Oh, he's a thumb. He don't know anything.
Right.
He probably on drugs. That's probably why he's down there. Probably most I brought him down to that point just to bring that truth out to us.
Save some souls.
Don't even know.
Hallelujah.
You can't judge people by their appearance.
Nah.
You can't look at people's current circumstances and just go ahead and define who they are as a people. You don't know what people are going. You don't know where they've been. And you don't know why they are where they are. You never thought you'd go down there and see a guy with a sleeper, bringing it out. But it happened. So he said, everybody know truth, man. We got Google now. Know the truth now. Verse 3.
The bee is little among such as flight,
right?
But her fruit is the chief of sweet things.
Don't get caught up in who you are and what you don't got. We pay too much attention to all the wrong things. Much emphasis on things that don't matter. Verse 4.
Boast not of thy clothing and raiment,
right?
And exalt not thyself in the day of honor. For the works of the Most High are wonderful, and his works among men are hidden.
You don't know what he's doing. You might go in, you might be swearing out. You might see a guy in there just, barely making it, as you say. You don't know where that person's gonna be at. The same person you're looking down on is gonna be the person you might need tomorrow. You never know. What's mine?
Many kings have sat down upon the ground,
right?
And one that was never thought of has worn the crown.
Never thought of it. If you go, listen, his brothers all showed up, father, came to the spot that left David in the field. No matter. He's where he's supposed to be. That's what he's called to do. Didn't even realize that was one of the greatest kings we ever had in Israel. The one they left in the fields. His own family couldn't see who he was. And that's the same thing Joshua was. Just some guy from Nazareth. That's the corporate son. Who was this guy? Somebody, what good did come out of Nazareth? Good.
We always are.
Watch this, verse 6.
Many mighty men have been greatly disgraced, and the honorable delivered into other men's hands. Blame not before thou hast examined the truth. Understand first, and then rebuke.
This is what's going on right now amongst Israel. It's almost like we're becoming gangs now. I can't like you because I don't like you, so I automatically don't like you.
These grown men. Grown men.
Believe it or not, that's going on. Foolishness. Go ahead.
Answer not before thou hast heard the call.
Right.
Neither interrupt men in the midst of their talk.
We got a lot of people listening to respond, but not listening. Not even taking into consideration anything that's being said. Just ready for you to start talking. But then I'm going down. Verse 9.
Strive not in a matter that considereth thee not, and sit not in judgment with sinners.
Everybody interjecting yourself in other people's problems. You're in every social media debate. Let me come in and put my 2 cents in. I'm scroll every day. I ain't got nothing to say about nothing. Nothing to do with me. You heard what I said? Nah, I didn't hear it. Did you see that post? Nah, I didn't. Did you catch that video? Nah, I wouldn't know anything about it if people told me. You don't touch some people now. Oh, word. I don't even know who that is.
Madness.
And they be laughing at me, man. They be like, really don't believe that I'm telling you. Like, nah, I have no idea who you're talking about. You got to know who this guy is. No, I do not.
It's thick, man.
You think it lost the commandments? Oh, no, I don't know. What's this guy? Yeah, I can't even be going out of my mind. I got like a firewall. There's no lot of wickedness and foolishness come through. And then sometimes if it slips through a crack, I have a defense system that automatically deletes it out.
Madness.
What's this? 10?
My son, meddle not with many matters. For if thou meddle much, thou shalt not be innocent. And if thou follow after, thou shalt not obtain, neither shalt thou escape by flee.
It don't matter. Because once you jump into everybody's problems and everybody's argument and everybody's situations, then no matter if you're there or not, you're going down with the ship. You know, it's a lot of people in Israel now that's throwing their rock, hiding their hands. There's a lot of that going on. Throwing rock, hiding their hands. Subliminal disses. What breed of man did you come from? I got straight Similac generation. Meet this. You're going to Facebook and I have a problem. I'm going to bring it to Facebook.
I'm gonna say this because my patience is wearing thin. My patience is wearing thin, and I don't have time to play games with these people. And you're doing more harm than good for this walk.
Right.
And I'm gonna say this: I don't care who is offended. I'm not trying to be offensive, but you know, we can have a conversation. From the 5-6 years I've been around different communities, whether it be virtually or physically, it seems the brothers who are coming out of the dirt from the streets are more faithful servants than these brothers coming out of the church house. You bringing this church mentality into this, And where I'm from, we pull up on you. I'm not typing nothing to you.
I'm not typing, man. We talking about typing. We're not typing. We get pulled up on.
Twitter fingers. And we don't have to, we want to rebuild a nation and save souls. Y'all bring in celebrity status because you want to build your community. You want to build your fan base up.
Right.
We got time for that, man.
Trying to get followers and subscribers.
We got time for that, man.
Doing clickbait titles and all that. What's going on, man? You need some attention? You need a hug, man? It's ridiculous, man.
Ridiculous, man.
It's ridiculous. And it's funny that you said it because, you know, if we resorted back to that, then now you're the bad.
Yeah.
You can take all of that.
But that's what King David did.
That's what he would have did.
King David would pull up on you. Like, he's not sending no messengers.
Nah, not.
What he say his first order of business was?
He told Solomon, your first order of business, go kill 2 wicked Israelites. That's what he told his boy. So I'm going to the earth. Your first order of business, go kill these wicked Israelites.
Let's go right now. We're starting out with the cleanup.
Start with the house of Israel.
Right here. It's not going to Esau. Let's go to the house right here. These 2 guys.
Original.
This is not Christianity. This is not Christianity.
No, it's not. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, it's going to be like, yo, man, go make a video, man. Let's make a video. Yo, I'm going to say this and move on because we don't even got time to be dealing with this. But I'm going to tell you how I know dudes is lame. Right? When you bring it up, I got the text messages. And you bring them back. You post them text messages from years ago. What? Your phone has some text messages. That let me know you're wicked. Because you're doing stuff and you're holding things so that I can be able to bring this out. You think I got a text message from like last week?
6 months ago, you got
Let me show you how the conversation went
back
in 2017. What? Huh? It's dumb. It's dumb. And these are men.
Supposed to be leaders.
They wouldn't survive 2 weeks in the hood. 2 weeks in the hood. Nigga snuffed out, man. Listen, them guys, man, y'all, you remember y'all remember the old 50 Cent video, window shopping?
Yeah.
You remember when he did the Cassidy, when he walked up to Cassidy with the punch to the gut? That's what some of these guys need, man. You just walk up on them, pow, body shot. And I'm talking about it, just clean it up.
You're not built for war.
Just one body shot. You don't need to kill them, just a body shot. They're like, yeah, I think I'm gonna change. One good body shot. That's a pains, man. Oh, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm the priest of the Most High. You're the devil that the Bible speaks of. That's
calm. Calm.
Watch this. Verse 12. Verse 11.
There is one that laboreth and taketh pain and maketh haste, and is so much the more behind.
So that's a guy that's struggling, working hard, and trying to make it. It seems like nothing working out for him. Go ahead.
Again, there is another that is slow and has need of help, wanting ability and full of poverty.
Right.
Yet the eye of the Most High looked upon him for good and set him up from his low estate.
Y'all see that? So one that's counted out is the one the Most High working for.
Calm.
Go ahead.
And lifted up his head from misery, so that many that saw it marveled at him. Prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come of the Most High.
They come from the Most High. They come from where?
Come of the Most High.
No, it's the American government.
Come of the Most High.
Now that's Pharaoh that control that.
Come of the Most High.
Go ahead.
Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the law.
Of the what?
Of the law.
Of the what?
Of the law.
Of the Christian doctrine.
Of the law.
Of the church covenant.
Of the law. Are of the Most High.
Go ahead.
Love and the way of good works are from him.
So if you ain't got that, let me know who you're dealing with. This is how we mistaken the battle for the war, because we don't have these essential tools that only come from the Most High. You can't get this through research and Google searches, maps. Listen, I respect anybody that go and do get these maps and historical records and DNA tests and all that. But the Ruach has not converted you. You're not converted.
Come.
You just listen to a persuasive argument. And this is how you can be one day with it and one day you're against it. But nothing, if you met the man, if you're walking with the man on a daily basis, you can't be talked out of this.
Come on, come on.
That's like 3 months from now, y'all see me making the videos. I've never seen Dick and Jared in my life. I don't know who that is. I'm like, what? I seen with this guy for the last 10 years. What are you talking about? Nah, I'll never know. Because they don't know. I used to be a Hebrew Israelite, but I ain't know.
Madness.
Because you think it's a religion, you think it's a Christian denomination.
Come.
I used to be. Well, you was a Hebrew Israelite when you came out the womb.
Come.
And people think you became, I found the truth. I found I'm a Hebrew Israelite. You was born a Hebrew Israelite.
Come on.
That's why I said, land your captivity.
Remember yourself.
Come.
Hallelujah.
It's not becoming something, you already are. Watch this. What we at, D? Verse 16.
Error and darkness had their beginning together with sinners.
With who?
With sinners.
With who?
With sinners.
Go ahead.
And evil shall wax old with them that glory therein.
Y'all see that? So the more you glory in sin, the more error and darkness is going to invoke in your life. Can't see me way out. But that's why Yahshua said in John 3, men hated light because their deeds were evil. That's why they hate light. That's why they hate you. Because their deeds are evil. And they can't come around you talking the way they talk, acting the way they act. You make them uncomfortable.
Make you feel bad about it. Don't go around so they gonna shun Christmas. Don't go around. They gonna talk about the Bible all day.
All day.
That's how you really mad.
Yeah, all they do is talk about the Bible. What else is there to talk about?
That's it.
Exactly.
Madness.
What is there to talk about? You want me to what about the new Harry Potter movie? Get ready for the Matrix.
NFL scores.
Yo, bro, you see what happened? Nah, I didn't.
That's it.
Nah, I didn't.
I mean, yeah.
Nah, I didn't.
Then you ask, hey, you remember when
Keep out what you're saying.
Mr. Fountain said in the beginning
Yeah.
the unjust people, that was the problem? That was the Jewish people, that's the problem? How you feel about that?
How you feel about it?
They don't want to talk about that.
You never said that.
It's
I remember one time, I used to keep this on my phone when the prophet Fauci, because he's a prophet, because he's telling you right now, there's going to be death for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's always expiring.
It's about to get worse.
You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you right now, it's going to happen. I used to have in my phone the 60-minute interview that he did when he said out of his own mouth, masks don't really block anything. You know, it may, keep a couple of triplets from it, but it's really not going to make any significant, difference whether you wear a mask or don't. The only way you're going to get through this every day is wear a mask.
Which one is it? Which one is it? Stand on something, please.
But the one who hasn't changed, the word has been the same from the beginning of time.
Come on, Al.
You won't believe him.
Calm. Madness.
What's everything?
The gift of the Most High remaineth with the godly.
We're many with who?
With the godly.
With everybody.
With the godly.
Uh-huh.
And his favor bringeth prosperity forever.
For how long?
Forever.
Go ahead.
There is that waxeth rich by his wordness and pension. And this is the portion of his reward.
So there's been some people who, it's all with the stock market and the Bitcoins and cryptocurrency, all these little, financial schemes. And they're getting money. Looking up for them. Verse 19.
Whereas he saith, I have found rest.
I'm good now. Go ahead.
And now will eat continually of my goods. And yet he knoweth not
What?
He knoweth not what time shall come upon him, and that he must leave those things to others and die.
And take it with you.
All vanity.
All vanity. All vanity.
So he didn't worry about what he was going to need after here. He was so focused on the day. Can't buy your way into heaven. Most High, they say visa is take it everywhere, but it ain't take it in the kingdom. Sorry. No credit checks. You better have good credit here, buddy. Okay. And your sins don't just go off your record after 7 years.
Come.
That bill don't get paid. I'm gonna need you. And there's only one currency accepted in the kingdom. It's the blood of Hamashiach. Done?
Come.
Verse 20.
Be steadfast in thy covenant.
Be steadfast in what?
Be steadfast in thy covenant. And be conversant therein. And wax old in thy work. Marvel not at the works of sinners.
No, man, sometimes we got to take on things, new ideas and new ways, man, We got to consider, hey, it's working out for them. You gotta do common sense. Go ahead.
Marvel not at the works of sinners. But trust in the Most High.
But trust in who?
Trust in the Most High.
But trust in the science.
Trust in the Most High.
Trust in Big Mom.
Trust in the Most High.
Trust in Pastor.
Trust in the Most High. And abide in thy labor. For it is an easy thing in the sight of the Most High, from the sudden to make a poor man rich.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Don't mistake the battle for the war.
Hallelujah.
Don't mistake the battle for the war. Now, this evening, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to give call Halam, Abba Hayya, by Hashem Yeshai, and Precious Ruach HaKodesh, for everything that took place here today. We pray and hope that something was said here today that inspired you, that empowered you, that encouraged you to go on and continue on this journey, because as the old folks say, we know what the end is going to be. Say, I'm leaving, I'll run on, see what the end's going to be. But I'm going to run on, because I know what the end's going to be. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I read the back of the book.
Come.
Because he's given us opportunity to know. In James 1, he said, but if any man lack wisdom,
Come. Let him
let him